dancing on my own. See if you can follow. Got me feeling alive. Watch me go, lose control. Is this real? All I feel. Break the signs. Every time it's real, real. I do what I want. Ooh, I do what I want. Ooh, I do what I want. Ooh, I do what I want. I want. Hear me now, I do what I want. Are you ready now? 'Cause it won't be easy. Only get what you work for. Gotta go all out. Whenever you see me, don't be wasting my time. Watch me go, lose control. Is this real? All I feel. Break the signs. Every time let's be real, be real, be real. I do what I want. Ooh, I do what I want. Ooh, I do what I want. Ooh, I do what I want. Hear me now. Watch me go, lose control. Is this real? All I feel. Break the signs. Every time let's be real, be real, be real. I do what I want. I do what I want.
Good morning. What's new, pussycat? Good afternoon. Happy Monday. Betty, you're just like Monday. Nobody likes you. Oh, yes, here we are in Florida on a well, we're all kind of on a hurricane day. You know, I'm always on a hurricane day. Lucky me. But Mr. Crimes and Fashion is home today. He strolled through the door just a few minutes ago. We got caught up on a little bit of, just family stuff. And I said, "Okay, honey, I'm getting ready to go in my office." He said, "Okay, she's going in. Incoming." And then he started laughing and he said, "The one that really gets me is the perfume, honey. Like it's smell-o-vision." Listen, I don't know what to tell you. As Mr. Crimes and Fashion very well knows, I am a full package. Yes, I come prepared, ready to do battle. I got my war paint on. Oh, and for anyone who's interested and thinks that I'm afraid to show my face without makeup, I would tell you to go to Queen Bee's Live yesterday, where I appear on panel wearing some of my favorite sock monkey pajamas and completely barefaced and nude. Not even tinted moisturizer. Nope. Much like Marilyn Monroe when asked what she wears to bed. And she said, perfume. Moisturizer, that's what I wear to bed. No, clearly I tend to look like a homeless person or someone impersonating Bullhorn Betty when I go to bed. No, I shouldn't say that because my pajamas they always match. I mean, and they're not stained. Never mind what I said about Bull Skank Betty. Yep, Betty's Wow, Betty. Yesterday, when I was on Queen Bee's panel, that's kind of what inspired this live. Because, I have to kind of, when you're on panel, there's other people there and it's not your channel. And, if you're not a savage, um, well, then you have some manners and, no panel etiquette and, just decorum, real life, and you can't just say everything you would like to say because it's not your channel. Um, but that's when I became aware of Betty's. I- Yeah, I think the thumbnail says it all. One pig opining on another pig. And yes, I know right now we're having a big hashtag controversy going on. And I hashtagged Seth, Chris, and Katie. And y'all, I'm a terrible YouTuber. I have just recently started hashtagging, and I try never to exploit anyone. But my remarks, I would like all of them to hear my remarks. Um, Mainly Seth, although he's obviously he likes to take advice from ugly blondes. Well, I'm blonde, but I'm not ugly. Um, Inside or out, unlike the one that you seem to be taking counsel from. So I thought, maybe he would perhaps listen to a little bit of reason from a different kind of blonde, one who's smarter and I would like to think much more attractive. So, you may not like everything I say, but at least I try and not make you cry when you have to look at me. All right. So, unfortunately, I'm a little behind. I don't have the clip pulled up. Actually, I don't even have the clip. Crazy Nurse was kind enough to send me several clips with timestamps, but I really want to listen to. We're going to go to Betty's page in a moment, and I think we should listen to it right from her page. Honestly, I don't have enough words to describe how disgusting she is. I mean, truly. You're going to listen to a child advocate and a victim's advocate speaking about a missing child and the possibility or well, I guess, Betty seems to have some. Boy, I bet her Google searches are really interesting. I know that I have never opined about anybody, but a missing child and how a great way to dispose of a child would be to allow pigs to eat that child's body. And then, well, do they like teeth or do they spit the teeth out? And of course, like everything, one of the dumbest bitches on YouTube, truthfully, one of the dumbest bitches like rolling around out there, she's what I call an LCD person. Lowest common, I don't know how to make a D. Oh, well, I do, but I don't want it to get mistaken for something else. Lowest common denominator. Yeah. Betty, do you remember that from math? Did you get that far in math? That's probably like fifth grade fractions and whatnot. What a pig. I mean, honestly, the irony of a woman that, in my opinion, I do believe I made up the term ditch pig for her. Betty inspired that word. Now that might already be a word. I don't know. I don't ever remember hearing it. And I don't, there's nobody else that I have ever thought to call a ditch pig on here, but it seemed apropos. I and to think that child's father was sitting in her chat, rah-rahing that. That is next level sick. And sir, it's very unfortunate that you don't seem to understand the concept of loving your child more than you hate your ex-spouse. And how many people here come from a divorce situation? I do not. My parents were married until I think I was in my 30s. Yeah, I was in my 30s when my parents got divorced. And I have to say, it was a pretty big surprise to me, to all of my family. My parents did a really good job of keeping their whatever their issues were. It never like spilled over into our life. And by our, I mean myself and my sibling. Um, and my son is the product of divorce. But I can tell you this, many a time. In fact, one of them was about a year ago. Uh, my ex-husband, my son's father, if we had any kind of meaningful milestone or event in my son's life, if I do a party or we go somewhere, whatever, if it's a family gathering, my ex-husband is included. And many a time did we stand next to each other at sporting events, and 2 days prior to that, we'd been in court fighting. We had a very long, drawn out divorce over and his not seeming to think it was necessary to pay child support. I got the last laugh. That's all I'll say about that. But I'm here to tell you it very much can be done. You just have to. It's not that complicated. You need to love your child more than you hate the person that you made that child with. And every time that you shit talk or, you know, down degrade your child's other parent, well, you're also aiming all those arrows at your child because your child is part of that other parent. So, I mean, it's really not all that complicated. And I, obviously I don't know anything about these people's life, their marriage, etc. But I know this. I know that I only see one of those people. Of the three parents, um, the two biological parents and the step parent, I only see one of that trifecta um running around with the and this is my opinion, possibly the scuzziest, most amoral skank on this platform. Yeah, I only see one of them doing that. Wonder which one that is. And it's so sad. It's terribly sad for Sebastian. I really feel, and y'all know, I haven't followed this case. I don't really talk about this case. When I say I haven't followed it, I mean I'm aware of what is or is not happening because people send me things. But that's the extent of what I know. I am not unlike a lot of this is why I always say I'm a really shitty YouTuber because the things that bring the views and you know obviously there's hundreds if not thousands of people that sit in chats all day every day and want to hear every detail or non-detail over and over and over and over, and that's great. I'm not one of them because I see all the scuzzy nasty shit that comes with it, and my interest it falls off right there because I, this live is talking about one of the disgusting scumbags who has attached herself like a bloodletting leech to one of the parents. And I'm really, you know what? Up until this, I have really tried to extend to Seth Rogers and all the parents. Um, I am not Chris and Katie, Seth. None of those people have ever been in my chat because I'm not a world famous YouTuber like Betty is. I don't have anything to offer any of them. But they've never been in my chat. They have never left a comment. I have never spoken to any of these people. This is just me using my own life experience as a mother, just as a, I try and be a semi-decent human being. And I have really tried very hard to extend to Seth Rogers every benefit of the doubt as to why he is conducting himself the way he is. And by that, I really mean by the people he is surrounding himself with. And sir, if you think that Bullhorn Betty's depraved, skanky self is going to find your son, you're sadly mistaken. She can't find a way to fix her fucking hair. She's never found anyone. So why you would sit and listen to this vile trash bag speak about your son being consumed by pigs, I will never understand it. And that is the point where, as far as I'm concerned, I know everything I need to know about him. I thought that a ways back, but I kept saying to myself, well, you know what? God knows what people go through. I would never want to be in his shoes. Nobody would. So I can rationalize a whole lot of things where his sketchy looking behavior is concerned. And I don't mean that in any way regarding Sebastian's disappearance. No, just like, why are you surrounding yourself with these fucking clowns? And yeah, I'm sorry, to me, his little posse, they're clowns. I mean, Betty thinks it's a flex to tell people that the FBI knows her. Betty, let me give you a little piece of advice here, or just, just a statement. Normal people do not want to appear on the news. They don't want to be known by law enforcement. And Betty seems to be the only one who doesn't understand that, well, if that is true, you're not known for any good reason. I mean, Betty's got a lot of fucking fantasy going on up in her head, it seems. I heard her yesterday, and I think we're going to hear it in this clip, say, Bullhorn Betty is not just one person for all the dummies out there. Oh, Betty's got her high-powered team, okay? She's got Sonia, the T-shirt maker to the stars. Who else does that skank surround herself with? Like, I don't even know. Somebody that used to stalk my chat was always sitting front row like a little puppy dog. Yeah. He's no longer here. I guess that would be, I mean, I heard her acknowledge him the other day. And no, we will not be saying his name. That's like Beetlejuice. So yeah, Bullhorn Betty's not just one person. It's a team. Well, guess what, Betty? There was this woman named Sybil, and she wasn't just one person either. Okay. I'm going to say hi to the kids in class. And then, Crazy Nurse, could you do me a huge favor? Could you please, if you can, would you please? Never mind. I think I can find it. I'm going to go to Betty's channel. I was going to have you text me the link to yesterday's live, but I shouldn't have any problem finding it. So don't worry about that. Okay. Hey, Rachel Wolf, how are you? Blue jeans and coffee beans. Oh, a coffee bean. Blue jeans, do you rock out with your coffee beans out? That bitch is so fucking cringy. Rock out with your coffee beans out. When everybody knows that where she ripped that off from, the actual lyric was rock out with your cock out. Yeah, cock, coffee beans. And we all know that the word cock does not belong in any sentence where Betty is. Well, unless, of course, she's going to a pig farm where there might be some roosters, in which case I guess cock would be appropriate. Okay. Oh, God, what a pig. Honestly. Uh, oh, my God. And wait until you see the clip. I don't know if we're going. Yesterday, it certainly appeared that Betty had been in a hotel. Wait for it. What do you think the name of the hotel was? If you said the Magnolia Inn, you would be correct. Winner, winner, winner. Cock dinner, chicken. Oh, that was an unfortunate. Yeah, I should have passed on that one. Wow. I mean, if I was driving through a town and needed to lie my busted up head on a pillow, I I don't think that I would stay in a hotel that had the name Betty in it for under any circumstances. It's like, do you think she purposely looked? Oh God, she is. I don't think we're going to see it in this clip because well, of course not, because we're going to watch it from Betty's channel. But just bear that in mind. And I don't know that that's 100% certain, like it matters. But on panel the other day, they were definitely, let's just say, if that is not where Betty was, well, it certainly was. It certainly looked exactly like they had the same furnishings and the same colors in the same places. What? I mean, who'd have thunk? Oh, that's the bat phone. Let's see. Oh God, this one's from this morning. Do we have a timestamp, or should I just start it from the beginning? All right, we're gonna find the disgusting one from the Magnolia Inn where she, you know, because Betty is some kind of quasi expert because she's country. I'm a Florida native. I can tell you this: Florida is not known for pig farms. We're known for oranges, strawberries, pig farms, not so much. We do have a lot of feral hogs, which are not the same thing as, Wilbur, Charlotte's Web. Yeah, not the same thing. But you know what? I believe it or not, I did not win the Miss Agriculture contest. So uh, I was going to say, I guess I could defer to Betty, but yeah, no, I'm not going to defer to Betty in anything. But and I'm not from the country, but it didn't sound right to me. But like everything that Betty, sees or touches and puts her filthy mitts on, well, she's an expert in it, and all the rest of us, we're just stupid. Betty, I'm pretty sure I've forgotten more of my education, and not just in school, than you've ever learned. No, there's a few things that nobody accuses you of ever. One is being smart. Two is being nice. Three is being attractive. Four, well dressed, charitable. I mean, I could go on, but we'll just let Betty do the talking. Hey, London girl, how are you? Hi, Lori Life. Happy Monday. Cheyenne in the house. Cinnamon Hot Hot. Hi, how are you? Twin Thing. America's Next Top Mod. Crazy Nurse in the house. Nicole, how are you? I guess we're gonna see Betty this morning. Let me guess. Is she on a is she on a downward spiral? Our Betty? I have a hard time believing that. All right, we're gonna watch. Don't have no fear. Listen, you got the time, we got the beer. I'm unemployed. Um, I'm lucky, and I got some time on my hands. So hey, but my Betty threshold is we're getting to the glass ceiling of my Betty threshold. But y'all, this is the only way that I can watch her, and that hand to God. I cannot watch this skank unless I can yell at her. I don't know I don't know how you guys watch this truly without being able to, yell at her. And I just like to yell at her and let other people listen to me yelling at her. That makes it even better. Oh God. Seriously, like come back to reality, ma'am. Hey, Becca, how are you? I agree. Perfume is a must. Smell-o-vision or not, I don't care. And you want to hear something funny? I told my husband, I have this Joe Malone perfume I bought the wrong one. Okay. The one I wanted was lime, basil, and mandarin. The one I bought first one I bought was lime, basil, and neroli. And now, of course, like everyone who buys the wrong thing, well, naturally, I just keep it and then go back and buy the right one. I I reached for the wrong one this morning and goes, shh. Oh, and by the way, you're not supposed to do this. I do, but true perfumistas, you're not supposed to do this. You let it dry down on its own. But the lime, basil, and neroli that I grabbed this morning, on the rare occasions where I do put it on purposely, because I keep trying to talk myself into, oh no, it smells good. No, it doesn't. Not on me. I could never put my finger on it. What is that smells like that I cannot stand? And I came up with it right before I walked in this door. And naturally, my husband's like, oh no, it smells good. I'm like, oh, okay. I think it smells like Desitin diaper rash cream. It just does. And it's got to be the neroli. But yes, sorry, Joe Malone. I'm not a fan of that one. I am a fan of lime, basil, and mandarin. It's pretty rare that I don't like Joe Malone's perfumes. If you're someone who wants a lighter scent, I want the perfume to walk into the room before me. I'm just that bitch. I love Bond Number 9. I love Tom Ford, Carolina Herrera. There's lots of, I like strong perfume. But Joe Malone has some lovely scents that are, especially in Florida in the summertime. Oh God, you can't wear a lot of heavy perfume because when it rolls off of you in a river of sweat, it no, it's got to be light in the summer. Oh God, Twin Thing. Oh yes, we're gonna watch it. Now I want to see it. I'm sure it'll make me throw up in my mouth, like most things that she does. But I truly, I cannot believe the things that this woman says and does. It is. It I don't get it. I don't get it. It's got to really, really suck to need attention that badly. Hi, Punky. How are you? I think that's a new name. Welcome. I agree. No, unless she's advocating for her bank balance. That's, well, in that case, Hi, Wise Angel. How are you? Oh my God, Paisley Park. It's nice to see you. Oh, back from the OG days with my first channel. I hope you're doing well. Denominator. Yes. LCD people, lowest common denominator. Yeah. Would you like that list in alphabetical order? Oh, look at that. B. B for Bullskank. B for Betty. Yes. She's at the top, shockingly. I don't have an A to top her. Okay. Hi, Nene. How are you? Celia. Hi. How you doing? I'm trying to kind of read as I go, but I get so distracted, you guys. I'm running. And my husband said, right as I was walking in here, he said, remind me, and when you're done, I will. Did I show you guys the computer he bought me? That is this big. So that big tower, out of here. And I'm going to have 2 monitors on my desk. So I might, no promises, but I might be able to talk and read at the same time. And it's, kind of doubtful, but I'm going to give it the old college try. It's not usually my specialty, but the way I have to do it now on one monitor, as soon as I start reviewing, I'm in the other window and I can't see anything going on in the chat. So I'm not ever ignoring you. I'm just not in the chat. Oh, now I'm definitely getting distracted by the chat. Oh my gosh. Crazy Nurse will fill me in on what I'm reading in the chat. I'm lost. I'm sorry. Okay, so play the first. Okay. Yep. Don't worry. We will. I think Crazy Nurse probably just sent it to me too. Let me just check. But we absolutely will watch it. She is so fucking unhinged. Her behavior appears to be very unhinged. Anyone who would use a child. Wow. What do we think her bottom is going to be? Like, what is going to be the point where the crazy plane just, crashes and burns like a World War II fighter plane? What's it going to be? Because from where I sit, I see a nasty, hateful, disgusting bitch who will use anyone and anything in furtherance of her fucking bizarre obsessions. That's what I see. Hey, Lily, how are you? Not so dumb blonde. Girl, I was going by this real fast, and you know what I thought I read? I thought the screen name said something about Nordstrom. I'm like, oh damn, welcome. Oh, I love me some Nordstrom. Hey PJ, how are you? Dior. Oh yes, Dior addict. I love Miss Dior too. All right, we're almost there, and then we're gonna start. Roll that footage. What was that commercial? Roll that beautiful. Oh, never mind. We can't use the word beautiful in anything that involves Betty. So roll that bean footage. Hey, Hazel Eyes, how are you? Danielle K. I think that name is new. Welcome. Okay. All right. What should we do first? Let's get the pig. Let's get the pig live out of the way. I have to say, it's honestly, and I'm not just saying this because I think she's a vile dirtbag. I mean, obviously I do, but I have to say, I think without really going back in my mind, I really think that it is it is one of the this rant is one of the more disgusting that I have ever heard on here. And to think, I mean, it would be bad enough to say something like that about an adult, but to speak like this about a child, um, it's just disgusting. Oh, speaking of disgusting, here's Betty. All right, let me get through all her bullshit ads that you have to sit through. Um, and I think it starts at the beginning. Oh, start at the very beginning, a very good place to start. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, commentary, education, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use that might otherwise be considered infringing. All right, let's get this party started. Oh, not that there's anything that could be considered a party when we're talking about Betty. All right. Can y'all see that? What? Why in the hell did that come up? What does it matter what my browser? Oh, because I hadn't shared it yet. That's why I couldn't full screen. Duh! Y'all, one day I'll get this shit figured out. Oh. Okay. There we go. All right. Oh boy, there's Dusty in all her glory. And when I say Dusty, don't just think about Betty's, let me think of a tactful way to put this. Don't just think about the long neglected, dusty hallways of Betty's non-existent love life. No. Think when I say dusty, you think professional wrestling, like Dusty Rhodes. Sorry, Dusty. You know you were one of my favorites when I was a kid. But I'm sorry. It's just what I think every time I look at her. I saw in a chat the other day. This was the best. Somebody said she looked like Eileen Warnos. Oh my God. Oh, just, you know what? Just shoot me the day that someone thinks I look like Eileen Warnos. And look, Eileen was a nicer person than Betty. So don't put that shit on Eileen. I mean, my God, she was just misunderstood. That's all. Yeah, maybe a cross between, because I do see a little bit of, I can see where somebody made that, comparison. It's not such a huge leap to make. Let's get serious here. But, maybe Eileen, a little bit of Eileen with a whole lot of Dusty. And there you go. What do you have? BHB. And here's my new tagline for Bullhorn Betty. Bullhorn Betty. Venom and spice, and not one thing nice. These are the things that Betty is made of. That just came to me the other day. I don't even know why, but I thought, well, my God, because I'm always trying to come up with I was trying to come up with a title for something, and it wasn't going to work for what I wanted to review, but I jotted that down real quick because I'm old, and if I don't write it down, chances are I don't remember it. But yes, I think it's quite fitting. All right, kids, here we go. Betty, take it away, girl.
It's nice to see you, Karma's mom. I got some.
It's nice to see you. Could you put a little feeling into it, honey? I mean, it's like what you I'm trying to think when that type of greeting would be the occasion it would be indicative of. I don't know. Jury duty comes to mind. Having to go to the emergency room. Put a little feeling in it, bitch. I mean, especially when you consider that you are asking the idiots who are watching you to pay for that motel room that you're sitting in. Which, by the way, I mean, it is a definite. And don't get it wrong. I'm not a fan of the wall color. It's too much. And there's an orange chair in there that gave me nightmares. But maybe they're like Gator fans, the blue and the orange. I don't know. But it is certainly looks to be an improvement over the usual roach motels that Betty stays in. Oh, another song that always comes to mind when I think of Betty. No tell, motel, Holiday Inn. Yeah, that's Betty. Why are there so many switches and plates on the wall? What is all this business about? Okay, that's a thermostat. That's a smoke alarm. Oh, Betty, don't do your hair. Do not do your hair in this room because look, right here is a very visible smoke alarm. Okay, so don't be doing that. You're gonna have the fire department there. Um, we've got 3 switches over here. That's just I don't know. It's just a little interesting. What? Why did
on
that
this
pop
table.
up?
It kind of sucks. I hope everybody's doing well
She's 10 seconds in and she's already bitching.
today.
Why can I not make that disappear, you guys? What?
I'm doing
What is this? What is this? Let me why won't this go away? No, I don't want any of that. Okay, there we go. I was about to leave and come back in, but it appeared to fix itself. And there's the ever-present lanyard, and ooh, it looks like somebody got a new lanyard. Oh, Bets. And why are you wearing a picture of someone else's missing child on your shirt? God, you're so fucking disgusting. And your lanyard, it doesn't match your shirt. Where's that from, Bets? Why don't you go get the one from Pep Boys or Advanced Auto Parts? No, that's clashing really, really badly. Oh, God.
excellent. I'm having a cup of coffee with you. I've got 2 bottles of water here.
Is that your special coffee or is it just regular coffee? And I just need to know why does she wear a lanyard? Why? She is not swiping any key cards anywhere. So why the lanyard? It is so fucking bizarre. I will never understand it.
We're kind of getting into the swing of things this morning.
Oh, would you get on
it's
with
a great
it?
day. I hated butting into church. I'm going to be going to the 11 o'clock because I'll be.
Bitch, you need to move into church, okay? Don't, Betty, you don't need to worry about missing church. You need more than a church service that you listen to in your car or on your computer. Honey, you are way beyond that. I want you to think Catholic Church, specifically the rite of exorcism. That's what you need. You need an exorcism. You're way beyond a church service. Okay, just saying.
Traveling, and I can listen to church in
the
the
word
car
of the Lord
during my travels.
So you can listen to church and not implement anything that religious people of the cloth talk about. Okay, I mean, you're should look into you're like in the underworld church. Yeah, I personally believe that you sit at the right hand of Satan.
So I hope everybody's doing well. As you guys know, we have a hurricane.
It certainly sounds like she's worried about that.
It's in Florida. It's going to prevent me from getting back to Florida.
Oh, God, isn't that a shame? I know I always miss you when you leave the great state of Florida. That I also have to share with you, which I really hate.
Today and tomorrow. So I've got to make other arrangements and things of that nature. So we'll be traveling. We'll be exploring
She's
today.
probably
That's
got
for
some
sure.
maniacal
What else
plan
are we
going
going
up
to do?
there.
What else are we
Why are you using 2 coffee cups? Oh, well, it's probably hot and it's going to burn her little hands.
going to do? Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
So good morning, Karma's mom, Victoria, Donna,
Like,
Jenny,
get on with it,
the
would you
real me
already?
too. It's nice to see you, my love.
My
Peggy,
love.
Dawn, Sarah, Rebecca, True Crime Addict, Kendra, Mia. It's nice to see you all. Look at all of you. Yada.
Nice to see
smokes.
you.
How have you been, my friend?
You know what she reminds me of when she does things like, it's nice to see you. Fire Marshal Bill from back in the day, the show In Living Color. That's who Betty reminds me of. That was Jim Carrey way back in the day. Nice to see you, my love. Betty's got like this underbite. That reminds me of a dog I used to have.
Reach out to me. I think I lost track
Reach
of it.
out to
Everything's been so crazy. I lost,
She lost
track
track of
honey.
you because she doesn't give a shit about
Knock,
you or
knock.
anybody else.
Hi there. I'd love to show you what a K-12 powered
God.
school is really like.
Oh, Betty.
Step inside.
All this place. I can go back to school. Oh, what? Go away. No, I don't want to answer your stupid survey. Okay.
Goodest morning.
Bitch, do you know where you are and what time it is? Goodest morning. Goodest.
I caught you
There you
before
go. There's a
deleted
member
it.
of the media. Goodest
And all your
morning.
misspellings. Mr. and Mrs. Car Guy, it's nice to see you. It's nice to see you. Hey, Sadie, it's nice to see you as well. Always
Betty, I don't like
watching.
that
It's
camera
nice to
angle
have
for you. I
Yeah,
don't really
so
like any
I
camera
figured
angle
I'd
for
drink
you,
some
but
coffee before I got on the road today and, just kind of chill out here just for a little bit because there's not really a whole lot I can do. So, I've got.
So, oh, here go Betty scratching. Scratch that itch, Betty. What is that about? I mean, I think I know what it's about, but it could be a number of things causing you to itch. Maybe you should go to a doctor because it's icky.
Got a storm in Florida. I can't get back.
Oh,
to
Betty's looking for breakfast. We watched the other day where Betty put her hand in her hair and then waited a second and went like this and then ate it, whatever it was. So when I see her doing that, I'm like, oh God, Betty missed the all you can eat courtesy breakfast down in the lobby. So I'm like, oh, she's looking for something in her hair.
I've got
nasty bitch.
Things going.
And why is she always doing that? You will never see her not do that. And listen, I know I play with my hair. I do annoying shit too, but I don't like do shit with my nose. Always touching her face. Very, very interesting.
Going on. I'm trying to decide whether I want to go over to Chattanooga or not and cover those 2 cases. I may end up doing it, but we'll see about that.
I'm sure they could use your help. So yeah, you should get in your bucket of bolts and you should take your ass right on over to Chattanooga. Maybe that's a city in Tennessee that hasn't put you on the do not fly list.
And then the other option is, obviously Olivia's Pennsylvania going ahead and covering the Trump rally.
Betty, there are enough reporters who are not only well-spoken and intelligent, they're also all tend to be fairly attractive. So why the fuck would anybody want to listen to you cover the Trump rally? I mean, what are you covering it with? Your iPhone? Has Betty figured out how to work that camera yet? Yeah. Is that camera even around anymore? I wonder.
Attempted assassination. That was bad.
How did I know?
Situation. They're still uncovering stuff.
Thank you, Captain Obvious, for stating the
looking
obvious.
at footage. There's a lot of footage out there. Some of the footage actually has Thomas Crooks in the footage.
Oh, fine on shit that
go to bed. Okay, Mama. Love you, Mama. Love you, puppies. Right?
Okay.
Love you, Mama. Love you, puppies.
Back it up. She's so fucking gross.
And then, if that was him taking out the garbage, which I'd have to believe that even
back it up a little.
he was that they had a normal day from everything I you know, and it just kind of sucks a little bit. Hey, Lisa B, always. Boodlebug.
No, not really.
Oh, it's cute.
Oh, there she goes. Other side of the nose now.
Long story short,
I like to take a long story and make it longer.
You know, we're just going through some stuff. We're trying to get our, and I'm talking about the team.
The team, bitch. They make medication for people who think they have a team. Betty's team. Let's see. We've got Sonia, the t-shirt maker to the stars. Who else is on the team, Bets? Do you is the guy that is the poor bastard that has to do your flyer order at the local Staples or Kinko's? Is he part of the team? I mean, what do you have to do to become part of the team? Does the team get to wear lanyards too? And what does their lanyard say? Does it say, I'm a non-paid indentured servant to Bullhorn Betty? I mean, I need some more information on this. Please enlighten me.
Bullhorn Betty. Bullhorn Betty's more than just me.
Like I said, Bets, there was a lady named Sybil, and she said a lot of similar things to what I hear you saying.
I want to let you guys know that.
Oh, yeah.
For all the idiots in the back.
Yes. And Betty, is this where production sent you? Because if you've got a team, you need to talk to your team about hair, wardrobe, makeup, accommodations. What's your per diem, Bets? Like your team. Okay. We've got team bitter and salty.
My friendlies. But people just don't get it.
No, you're right. I do not get it.
Sebastian Rogers is a 15-year-old autistic boy that disappeared from his home in Hendersonville, Tennessee.
I don't understand why she feels the need to fucking reinvent the wheel every time she goes live. There has been no new information forthcoming, and she just repeats the same shit over and over. But as you're getting ready to hear, she gets a little more vile.
Tennessee, according to his mother, his obviously doesn't mind lying on court.
Betty, fuck off. We know you don't mind lying on court papers because we've all seen them with our own eyes. Your lawsuit that's the size of the fucking Pelican brief, just written by a stupid person. Yeah. So you might want to slow your roll on that.
Papers mother has,
but just remember, everybody, Betty is not bothered. She's not bothered at all. She is not shooketh, she is not pressed, and she is not bothered, except of course when she is, which is apparently every time she opens her mouth. Because I don't know about you, but I don't sit around drawing attention to things that I'm not bothered by.
Told the world that they had a normal day. From everything I heard, the day before that Sunday was not normal. As a matter of fact, it was overtaxing, overexerting, and overstimulating.
I don't know if that is Betty's claim or if any of the parents have said that. That I don't know. But if it's coming from Betty, fuck her. How would she know?
From everything that we've learned. And
apparently,
when they got
get
back
ready.
From the Texas Roadhouse, again, nobody's been able to lay eyes on this boy from the time at the Texas Roadhouse. The only time that the public and law enforcement have been able to lay eyes on this boy was from the footage at the Texas Roadhouse.
Who has a name?
After that, apparently he came home. And then he went took out the garbage allegedly, and then he went into his room. And that from the time he got home till the next morning, almost 12 hours, he did not come
Miss Member of the Media, it's until, not till.
Out of his room, according to his mother. If you go back and listen to all the interviews, she basically said he didn't come out of, he went to his room to play. She told him at 9 o'clock. So apparently from 6 on, the evening before, about 6:30ish, whenever he finished taking out the garbage, if that was him taking out the garbage, which I'd have to believe that even a hazy image of someone
Nobody fucking cares what you believe.
Based upon the height of the garbage can. And
Oh boy, here goes Betty's gonna do math, everybody. Get ready.
The length
gonna
of the person
recreate
above
this
the garbage
for you.
can and the angle. There's some type of calculation that's going to give some
And it's
guy
way
a
beyond
height and
your
weight of whatever that
comprehension. So leave
individual
that to the
may,
smart
may
people,
be, right?
Duncan.
Katie and Chris have different body styles, makeups, heights, and weights, and so does Sebastian. So I think,
Really,
through
God,
a
I'm so glad I turned
calculation,
this on.
if they do have a video of him taking something out to the garbage, I'm pretty sure they know the height and weight of the individual that took the item out to the
I
road
would agree
and
with
can
that.
deductively reason.
Well, Betty's gonna deductively reason.
This is your sign to
Oh
stop
my
drinking
God.
alcohol. Let me tell you how.
This
I
is
used to
just
drink
another
almost
reason to
daily,
fucking
and it started taking a toll on me
test this
physically.
thing.
I was gaining.
Whom that person is. Good morning. Good morning. Did I see old Rusty up in here? I do see old Rusty up in here. Good morning, coffee beans. We have homemade chicken soups and little Debbie cakes for dessert.
Wow, that sounds great. Are you getting ready for your audition on the Food Network? Oh, God. Oh, that sounds like Betty's on a diet. That's why Betty
thank
looks
you,
the way
thank
she does.
you. And so now we're going to kind of go into that evening because there's not really a whole lot with that evening.
No shit, but you still got to pay the bills, right? So, yep, you're going to have to come up with something new to make these fucking dolts who watch you keep watching.
When it comes to Sebastian, right? Sebastian was put away in his room and never talked about again, right?
He's talking
According
about
to,
him like he's a dog.
Katie,
Put away
she
in
told
his
him to
room.
go to bed.
Betty, do you understand? I think the child is much more capable than you obviously think or give him credit for. I mean, could it be at all possible that he, I don't know, maybe wanted to go in his room and do whatever he did in there, play video games, whatever. I mean, have you ever considered that? Not everything is fucking nefarious, okay? And being as the Lord has never blessed you with a child. Yeah, they always say that God knows what he's doing. And apparently he thought it was enough that you were here. We didn't need to like spread your seed around.
9 o'clock, holler to him. Go to bed. Okay, mama. Love you, mama. Love you, puppies, right? Love you, mama. Love you, puppies.
Oh God, she's so fucking gross.
And
like,
then,
why does she feel the need to mock these people in everything? It's so. See, Betty, this is why, I mean, aside from the unfortunate fact that half the time you don't write as if English is your first language. That's just one of the reasons, besides many others, that people don't understand where you get off trying to pretend you're a member of the media. Because the price of admission for that job is being fluent in the English language, spoken and written, and all those pesky things like punctuation. You never see a legit journalist do any of the shit you do.
she does something from 9 to 9:43, 46. That's unclear. What did she do?
She does not answer to you or any of us.
For that 43 minutes? Where was Katie at and what was she doing?
It's where was Katie, not where was Katie at, idiot.
Because now we know definitively that she didn't make
Don't
the call.
end a sentence in a preposition, except in some rare circumstances, which I'd be lying if I sat here and said I could remember which ones.
Until 9:43 or 9:46, which is really weird that he says those times. Why not around 9:45? That's how I would talk.
Oh, really? Are we going to judge how you would talk? And let's just get to that part. This fucking hag is, oh God. Let's just get to the good part where we're going to hear how Betty talks.
Her in order to wake her up.
Filthy trash mouth skank.
If she was asleep. Oh, good gracious. Good gracious.
Oh.
Of course he'd laugh. We got Layla.
right, I'm trying out this soothing voice.
Now we're going to Layla.
Layla.
Got to grift off of her.
Oh my gosh,
Got to make sure we
girl,
get
I'm
those shekels.
Santinello, we've got Summer Wells, we've got. It seems like it's a resource thing. I've always felt like the reason why Dawn and Candace weren't brought up on charges for the child welfare stuff is cousin. You know, I had a good long.
And please, let's everyone bear in mind. I honestly, what makes me crazy, even more than the shit she says, is to think. It terrifies me to think about what kind of person thinks that this fucking creature on your screen right here knows more and or is more capable than law enforcement. Like, I mean, she's driving around in the real life version of the Scooby-Doo mystery van. Raggy. Except there's no hot chick in it. Yeah, Daphne's busy. Daphne's like, sorry, lose my number. Like, it does. It terrifies me. I don't. What is it that makes people think that she is going to have some epiphany that law enforcement has not had? And even if the dumbass found something, well, that could create a chain of custody issue.
Conversation with him just the other night, and
but
that was prior to growing up, and that's why I say anybody that's under the age of 30, they're just now popping their head out of their butt, because that's about the time I start popping my head out of my butt.
Well, keep working on it, because clearly you're not all the way there.
At the end of the day, let's get back to Katie, right?
Oh yeah, let's get to the
funny. When did she get time to do all this in her story? We never heard about that. Just law enforcement, Brown.
Oh my God.
But so it's not uncommon for me to see DAs out there. But see, the difference is those were truly criminal investigations.
I would imagine you've probably seen or talked to a few DAs.
There had been an absolute crime committed.
Oh God.
Hey, that's their job. And
Betty, you are a fucking LARPer. You are a fucking unemployed weirdo from the internet who thinks that she has cases, who thinks it's a flex to tell the world that the FBI is well aware of you. Wow. Yeah, I've never said those
they
words.
hold a lot of information about us because just for DNA testing on all of these cases, you've got rape cases, you've got, sexually assault.
If you feel so strongly about that, why don't you take all your super chats and donate them to those organizations that help to get old DNA testing done on cases that have, sitting waiting? You could always do that. Oh, that's right. Never mind. Because you need to keep feeding your face.
Cases, you got all these different types of.
Where is
that needs to be done? They did the reenactment at their house.
Oh my God!
And how there's no third party or outside influences.
I just want to get to the part of it.
And obviously,
obviously we've got one pig
behind the wheel of that vehicle.
But I'm looking for her conversation about pigs,
right? And all the hate channels are talking about those very receipts, and we know it. So,
no clue what you're talking about.
That JLR, he wouldn't have made these types of mistakes, right? Their son.
I'll bet you sure do, Miss JLR, don't you? Oh, look, Betty, there's all your eggs that you don't have anymore that are probably scrambled. Oh, you're just a baby.
The courts. Why they utilize the court system.
Oh, here's Betty not worrying.
To hinder somebody's First Amendment rights. And
fuck you, skank. You seem to think, God, she's looking like a whole Joe Dirt, like a whole ass Joe Dirt. Joe Dirt, Eileen Wuornos, and Dusty Rhodes. See, Betty's the only one that gets any rights. All the rights are reserved for Betty. Betty gets to say whatever she wants, whatever filthy, vile, foul, disgusting thing that rolls between these two things and comes flying out here. The problem is usually it never meets the speed bump that you're supposed to have up here. Yeah, but that's all reserved for Betty. No, nobody else. That's just for Betty. I mean, I heard this the other day and I think it's really appropriate. Someone was talking about, these people who go real life, and they were saying that when you do that, you're bitch made. Well, you are looking at bitch made right here. She's the poster child.
For God-given rights. I'm a taxpayer. And
Let me tell you something. What are you paying taxes, Betty? I mean, I kind of know where you live. So what are your taxes on that house? $200 a year. Oh, and you know what? She didn't even pay her taxes because her tax lien was sold. So there's that. So bitch, what are all these taxes you're paying? I'm pretty sure that the taxes that my husband and I pay, let's see, we don't get money back. We give money. And it helps to fund people like you who don't work. And, by her own admission, she's disabled. Although I don't know how disabled you could be to be driving all over the world, walking all over the place, stalking people. Yeah, but she parks in a handicap spot when she goes to do all those things. You are a fucking joke. She pays taxes. Besides sales tax, what taxes do you pay, Betty? Do you pay your YouTube taxes? I mean, not that I give a fuck, but it's always the people that scream about, I pay taxes, that don't pay jack shit in taxes. And I'm not kidding when I tell you that tax lien that was sold, I believe somebody sent it to me, and I want to say it was, I'm not kidding you, I think it was less than $300. Okay. And Miss, I pay taxes. I'm a homeowner. Well, I know that we have never been delinquent on our property tax. And it's a lot more than $200. So it just seems odd to me, Betty. Most people who are, financially solvent and or sound, they don't go delinquent on their property tax of almost no money. It's very odd. It made me think that, I don't know, maybe you took out a home equity loan, and because somebody's got to finance the Bullhorn Betty operation. I mean, if I'm not, this is all just speculation, just scenarios that could have happened. But when I sit and think to myself, well, who wouldn't pay their property taxes that are very little money, especially when they've got a bunch of idiots that are footing all the bills? Why would you not pay your property taxes? And I mean, the only thing I could come up with is, well, maybe you took a HELOC out and you're delinquent on paying it. I mean, I don't know. If my house was going to go into foreclosure, I don't think I'd pay property taxes. And I'm certainly not saying that Betty's house is in foreclosure. Don't care. But it's just very odd that one would not pay her property taxes of so little money, since it seems that house and that pile of shit car you drive are the only things you own, besides a bunch of t-shirts with dead and or missing people on them, and fucking lanyards in every color of the rainbow, all of them ugly. Oh, and let's not forget her rubber bracelet collection. Okay. Yes, Betty, you've got rubber bracelets to make Madonna envious. Yeah. Just always remember, the ones that scream about all the taxes they pay, apropos of nothing, they're the ones who don't pay a fucking dime in taxes. Okay.
Today, they do not own those roads. The people do. Nobody cases because it.
How
At Henry
oh
Meds, our
my
knowledgeable providers demystify
How many
compounded
ads?
semaglutide, the
Like-
same active ingredient in brand name.
Y'all, I'm not monetized, so
people
I don't
are-
know exactly what kind of ad revenue you get for those fucking annoying ads on a channel her size. It cannot be that much. I put it making people sit through that shit. Ugh.
For whatever
I'm going to
reason,
pop back over in the
people in
chat for a
Tennessee
minute.
are
Can somebody please tell me where is the approximate timestamp of hey to anybody who came in while I was over there? Oh, little Irish girl. $618. Okay, so I was wrong. Oh, beer can, my God. Oh, girl, let me tell you something. I would have paid you triple whatever you paid for it. And then I could have been, can you imagine? Oh, oh boy, that would have been fun. I'm going to try and say hello to anybody who came in while I was over in the other window while I wait to see if anybody can give me. Did she do 2 lives from this room? Because I want to play it. Literally, Davis fam has a clip, but I want to play the whole thing. And we have not been able to find it here. All right, let me just say hi real quickly to anybody I missed. And if I miss you again, I am so sorry. I'm just picking the spot where I think I left off. Hi, Lindsay. How are you? Hi, Annie. Pink Stripe. Pink Stripe, you weren't here earlier, were you? Hi again, or hi for the first time. Hi, Just Jake. Oh, you know what? I'm about 2 hours from Betty. We had nothing even remotely close to what was forecast, but that's very typical. And that's a good thing, but that's very typical of where I happen to live. And it's why I'm so complacent and pay little to no attention to these storms, because my husband does. My mother actually told me a few days ago, you know, we're having a hurricane. And I'm like, huh? I said, I don't know. I haven't heard anything about it. I said, Mr. Crimes and Fashion watches all that. But yes, we had, and last night we turned the Weather Channel on, the National Weather Channel. And I know exactly where they were broadcasting. They appeared to be in Tampa, probably somewhere off of Bayshore, which is it's a street that sits on Tampa Bay. And it goes into the downtown area. And there's a beautiful waterfront sidewalk that runs all around the neighborhood where joggers, it's just a really popular place to see people doing, what Betty obviously does not do, which is, some form of exercising, especially running. But last night at about 8:30, 9 o'clock, we were watching the Weather Channel, and cars, just one after the other, driving behind the woman and the broadcaster. And there was wind, there was rain, but in Florida standards, it was a nothing burger, except where it made landfall. I think they've had some significant damage in Steinahachie, Florida. That's kind of getting, well, it's not, how far is that from the Panhandle? A couple hours maybe. But yes, it was in terms of Florida storms, there was no there. Hey, Fit and Curvy, how are you? It's nice to see you. Hi, Patricia Sell, how are you? Beer can in the house. Beer can. I didn't even have. Typically, I would have had standing water in the front part of the property and in the driveway. Nothing. We don't even really have much debris in the yard. Hey, Pro Charlotte Luke, how are you? Oh God. Hey, Miss Brittany. Brittany, I hope that what you emailed me about, it's not too late for me to help you with that. I'm going to check my email when I'm done in here. And you know I'm happy to help you. So, have no fear. If I just hope it's not too late. I hope my response wasn't too delayed. Hi veteran, how are you? Oh, that her fancy purple court shirt. Oh my God. Is that like who the fuck would wear that to court? Seriously. I mean, Betty, that purple court top disco fever abomination thing, fucking cachet from 2 decades ago. Burn it. Burn it. It is not appropriate for court. Save that for your grinder dates, Betty. And I know it's not grinder, but you know. I mean Tinder. Sorry, my bad. Oh, Nicole, I share your sentiment. $618. She did not pay $618 in tax. I mean, I don't know about you, but when you're a taxpayer, I would think your property taxes would be priority number one. Because most people, you know, they want to make sure that they have a house to live in. Oh, Danielle K. Well, I'm assuming she parks in those parking spots. She proudly displays that handicap placard. Just go look at any of her road trips and you'll see it hanging off her rearview mirror. Yep. Oh, and she's talked about all her ailments and, you know, I know at one time she said herself she was on disability. Little Irish girl in, I think they have a year. From what I read, I believe the lien holder either has, I think they have 1 year. It's, God, could it possibly be 2? I think it's 1. 1 year to, if payment is not made, they can foreclose on the loan. But it's like, why would you do that? It just makes no sense. I mean, in terms of property taxes, that is not a lot of money. Hi, Beth. How are you? All right. And in the meantime, can anybody tell me if that's the right? Let me see. The bat phone's ringing. Okay, let's see. 1834. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Nicole. That starts at 1834. Okay. And if we don't find it at 1834, I wonder if hi, Erie Sunset. How are you? I haven't seen you in a while. Did she possibly do another video from that day? I was skipping pretty fast, so it's entirely possible I missed it. All right, let's go to 1730.
These are cases that I covered inside and out. So it's
cases she's covered inside and out, which means she read more than one internet page.
We got a problem here.
How do you
we
make
got a problem?
these?
I'm not saying that all the other states don't have missing children.
Okay, okay. Let's listen to this. This is pure gold coming up.
Things like that, but we're talking about high profile cases.
Okay, I got to back it up just a little.
We got Layla Santinello. We've got one that was allegedly in the home with her son, and that child did not walk out of her house. This is not a hard thing to wrap her head around.
I wish I knew why she was so fucking attached to that fried out blonde Dryerland. I mean, Betty, look at this is all breakage. Okay. This is not going to magically fix itself because you've grown this out. God, she has got a lot of gray. I do too, but I'm 10 years older than her. If she lobbed everything off from chin level right there. I mean, all of this is just dead trash. It would take, listen up, bitch, because I know you're listening. It would take probably 5 years off your face if you would just get rid of some of this. I mean, listen, scissors, they're not what you really need is a wand. Scissors are not a wand, but it would be a good start. Hold on, y'all. Somebody sent me an email, and I think it's got a. What happened? Oh, damn it. I looked at the preview, and I guess where did it go? I'll have to find that later, but she's going to start talking about how Tennessee has more more missing people, high profile cases than any place else in the country. Ma'am, I would think that just by geography alone, well, maybe California could lay claim to that. I don't know. She is so fucking stupid. See, this is the problem with dumb people who are running around LARPing as intelligent people.
Okay? And like Chris McDonough said, the Summers Wells case is very solvable. Why
Chris McDonough is her source.
they haven't solved it, I don't know. I don't know why Tennessee does the things that they do the way they do. I don't know.
Why not? You
The
know
only thing I
everything
can
else.
think is lack of education.
Lack of education? Wow. The irony of one of the fucking most uneducated sounding people on here opining on the lack of education for law enforcement in Tennessee. Well, Betty, why don't you come back and talk to us about that when you have any of the actual real jobs that you pretend to have?
Lack of training, and they need more resources. And you know what? I'd like to help the state of Tennessee accomplish those things.
Betty, I'm just curious. You live in Florida. My understanding is, I believe you're a Florida native. Why the fuck don't you give some of your valuable insight, education, and resources and services to your own state of Florida? Don't you? I mean, my God, Betty, we have a lot of really crimes that shock the conscience here. Why don't you help your own state? What's your thing with Tennessee?
Because I'm sick and tired of covering cases in there.
Well, guess what? I'm sure they would love if you would fucking go away and never come back. I mean, obviously, I don't speak for the state of Tennessee, but something tells me that they would love to never see or hear from your fucking. Can you imagine being law enforcement and having this fucking bag of mess right here, looking like this, strutting in there like she's somebody, when really you're just a weirdo from the internet who likes to pretend that you have a job solving cases. Yeah. If I go missing, please just let me be. Don't call Betty. No, do not.
State. This many in their state. I don't have any state that has this many kids that I'm covering.
Well, I would say you're too broke to get to California, but I'm pretty sure they probably, sadly, have their fair share of missing children. Oh, maybe they're just not high profile enough for you. Is that what you're saying? Okay. Oh, the one thing, though, that the state of Tennessee probably will miss or would miss, should you have the good sense to just go the fuck away and never come back, that would be that used cake that you took them. My goodness, nothing says I back the blue like going and taking them used cake. Yes. When Betty decided to have her first, was it a protest? Was it she called it a visual. It's a vigil, by the way. It's not a visual. Yes, when Betty decided to have a visual for Summer Wells, and she had it in the parking lot adjacent to the Hawkins County, I guess it was the sheriff's department. Now, of course, Betty being Betty, who has no authority over anyone or anything or any job in real life, well, she thought she would flex her non-existent power on YouTube, and Betty was going to decide who got to come, who got to be represented at this visual. And I'm not kidding you, folks. And her first grand plan was going to be only creators of a certain size. You had to have a certain number of subs to be able to come to Betty's very exclusive and sought after ticket to the visual. Yeah. As you can imagine, that didn't work out so well. And it was going to be live streamed. And there were also qualifications for you to be able to, use her live streaming, some such nonsense. Obviously, the many errors in her ways of thinking about that were pointed out to her, and this being Betty, who so many people on here despise, sadly, or gladly, maybe, I'm sure law enforcement was glad. Well, her event was not very well attended. Oh, scam likely. Thank you so much, Apple. I love that. Yeah, her event wasn't that well attended. I think there were, and I'm not kidding you. I think there were about 12 people there. And Betty's running around like her little Ferdinand the Bull self. She's got her lanyards on. Something tells me she probably had more than one on. She had on her too short, too tight, too light shorts. She had a tent that you put up at outdoor events, a loudspeaker with like a Mr. Microphone, because Betty's never far from a microphone. And there was something. Oh yes, cake. Betty probably went to Sam's Club and got a big old sheet cake. And hey, I happen to like Sam's Club sheet cakes. I think they're better than Publix cakes. But Betty was expecting a lot more attendance than what she got, because let's face it, and people actually started having their own, like, let's just call them splinter group vigils. Like the normal people who don't want to be fucking associated with her or be anywhere near her. I can think of at least 3 other vigils that went on at the same time. So, Betty having, she might have been rolling around with a clipboard. I wouldn't be surprised. Can you just picture Betty? Now picture it. Like I just said, her lanyards, her sunglasses, her bullhorn, Mr. Microphone, the little speaker that goes with Mr. Microphone, her too short, too tight, too light shorts, and of course, Summer Wells some kind of Summer Wells paraphernalia shirt that I'm sure the t-shirt maker to the stars made for her, although I don't know if they even knew each other at that point in time. So Betty goes and gets a cake, and she's expecting a good turnout because she's that unaware. Like, she doesn't seem to know that most people can't fucking stand her. I mean, I wouldn't, oh my God, there is no circumstance in this world where I would ever go any place I knew she was going to be. No, thank you. She's been known to lay hands on people, although maybe that's just her mother and her ex-husband. I don't know. But so, Betty had more cake than she had attendees. And as a way to thank law enforcement and tell them we back the blue, well, of course, she took the used leftover cake to them. Can you imagine what they did with? How fast do you think it was after she dropped the cake off before it went in the trash can? My guess is the door didn't get didn't finish closing before it was in the trash. I mean, who does that? Seriously. If she wanted to thank law enforcement, when her cheap ass was wherever she was buying that cake with, I'm going to guess, was somebody else's money because she doesn't have a job. Well, I wonder why she just didn't pick up some ready-made cupcakes or something and take them over to law enforcement. Either if she was as smart as she thinks she is. Now, if that had been me and I was doing that, which I mean, that's never going to be me because I got a life. I would have taken my food offering. I would have taken that before the event, just to maybe help ensure that they were in good humor as the event was going on. So yeah, I don't know if I'm assuming she probably took a knife and hopefully she cut away the parts that were not eaten. And made it look like it was new cake, but it wasn't new cake. It was cake that had already been passed out to the attendees. Who does that? Well, this tacky ass bitch does that.
These are cases that I covered inside and out. So we got a problem here. Okay. We got a problem. I'm not saying that all the other
and it's you and your ilk
states don't have missing children and things like that, but we're talking about high profile cases.
Oh, because that's the only kind of missing people Betty gives a fuck about. High profile, because that means money and views.
We got Layla Santinello, we've got Summer Wells, we've got Sebastian Rogers,
and it's we have dumbass.
All three of them I have been involved in.
Oh yeah, you've been involved in all three of them. And in two of them, because I don't know much about the Layla situation, but yeah, you've been involved in wreaking havoc. That's what you've been involved in. Being your usual hateful, wrong self.
In Snap, we need to consider hers. Hers is not as well known as the other three.
Which is why Betty won't cover it.
But she went missing around the same time
why aren't you covering
within a few months of Layla Santinello, which got kind of caught our attention. Because we didn't know if this was an SA thing, an ST thing, an HT thing. We didn't know what we were dealing with here,
Well, it's a good thing law enforcement probably does know what they're dealing with, because if the fate of anyone is left to you,
we just knew that we knew it's something. You mentioned
my goodness, that's insightful. We knew it was something.
I told you people dispose of bodies at pig farms.
Oh, here we go. Okay, get ready.
And the problem is if he went to a pig farm, there's.
Oh my
Want
God.
a flatter, tighter tummy and Sonobello's best deal of the year? Then check out new Ab EX and save big.
Somebody's been watching a little too much ID channel. Who in their right mind comes up with this? A pig farm. Obviously some fucking sicko in her chat. I mean, even if you think that is a likely scenario. I mean, hey, people think all kinds of wacko things. But the fact that she is going to sit and discuss this about this child, it's just callous. It's just like her. It's just disgusting and vile. It really is. This woman has absolutely no class, no compassion, no empathy, no sympathy, seemingly no humanity. I mean, to think that someone would sit and speak this way about a child.
It would be.
And my understanding is
literally
he's
nothing.
in the chat.
And it's
He
hard to
being
get on those
mad.
pig farms out there because, people watch their livestock. He'd have to know somebody at a pig farm.
So how's that work? Do you just walk up to the pig farm? Hi, you have a pig farm, right? I've got a little problem that I heard this very unattractive, not so smart blonde on YouTube talking about, this would be a good way to dispose of a body, especially a child. Like, would you be open to that? Do you, if not, do you know any other pig farmers that might be?
To be able to do that. A pig farm owner would be the best,
Oh, really? A pig farm owner would be the best. So just the person who shovels pig shit or puts scraps in the trough. Betty, do you eat out of trough? I mean, it kind of looks like you do.
I can tell you my aunt had like
of course,
3 or 5 pigs at one
3 or 5 pigs does not a farm make.
point in time. You know what I'm saying? And
well, we know she had a niece that was a pig.
And so it'd be something like that, if that's it. Everybody keeps saying they won't eat teeth. I'm telling you that is absolutely untrue. I don't know who told you that. They don't.
Because Betty knows everything. And bitch, you're a sick bitch. I don't know what kind of like fucking disgusting, depraved people sit over there, but this should give you a little bit of insight into who they are.
Don't spit teeth out. They don't intentionally look for teeth, but they don't spit them out. They don't chew up the body and start.
Well, if they do, maybe you should root around down there and, see if they left any behind that maybe you could replace that shitty partial you have in your mouth with.
Spitting teeth out. I mean, it sounds a little graphic, but I'm just saying it's not like that.
Oh, it's not like you're talking about a child.
The one thing about pigs and pig farms is
because Betty knows. Betty, just like everything else, Betty's an expert about this too.
That they will, if you need a human being gone, that is the way to do it.
What the fuck? Somebody's been watching too much TV or what? Like, how do you know this? Why do you know this? I mean, it says a lot about you, Betty.
So now would there be teeth? Yes, there would be. Would they poop out?
Betty, as a serious member of the media, I think the word you're looking for would be defecation, excretion, something like that. I mean, I don't know. I've never heard Paula Zahn ask someone if, they pooped out something that they ate. I mean, anyone with an ounce of fucking class, when the fucking weirdo in the chat brought up pig farms, if the dumb bitch who owns the channel, the one sitting in her chair upon high and her, mid-grade no-tell motel, which looks a lot nicer than the one she usually stays in. They'd say something like, listen, this is a child we're talking about here. And I know there's all kinds of sick things that people do. And there's, all kinds of sick scenarios. We could sit here on a fucking Sunday morning. Isn't it the Lord's Day, Betty? But wacko in the chat, it's just not appropriate to be. I'm not willing to entertain those types of scenarios because this is a child we're talking about. A child, by the way, who I have formed some kind of unholy union with the father and the investigator who's not an investigator, much like Betty. Oh, Betty, do you belong to the same non-professional organizations? That's what someone who had a little bit of class would have said. But we know nobody's ever accused you of that. So carry on.
Some of them too. Yes, they would. It might be something that's not digestible, but I've never seen a pig eating something and start spitting stuff out. because they're pigs. They
I don't
gulp it
know.
down.
I don't watch pigs eat,
So
except when I have to see you shoveling, a quarter pounder down your face.
I'm not sure. You I'll
Nitpicking
hey, old Rusty, do you
your
have
face.
any experience in pigs and whether they'll go through teeth or not, or they pick it out, spit it out?
Wow.
Hey, Mike, it's nice
Betty-
to see you. We got back Mike up in the house. My
Betty,
neighbor Shirley is a
you look like you wandered off a pig farm. I mean, just saying.
pig, and I can assure you she hasn't spit.
Maniacal laugh.
I'm calling your neighbor. I'm gonna say you're gossiping about her, Mike.
Well, that does sound like something you do. I mean, you are bitch mode.
Oh, they eat every bit. They poop the teeth and bones. There you go.
Poop.
Yeah.
They're another rocket scientist. They poop. I mean, it's even more cringy to hear adults who don't use their words. I mean, not the big words anyway.
Everybody's saying they won't eat bones. I don't. I unless you have knowledge. I'm telling you, I'm from the country. I'm gonna let the country folk tell you.
Well, I'm not from the country, and I'm not from Skid Row either. Betty has claimed to be from both at various times. I guess she could be from country Skid Row. I have no problem believing she would be from Skid Row. I guess there's parts of Florida that you could call country, but I mean, when I hear somebody say I'm from the country, I tend to think Alabama, Tennessee, places. I don't typically think Florida.
I'm gonna let the country folk tell you.
Of course, because
unless
you like
have
this
experience in pig
subject, like,
farms,
oh, you know
this
everything.
is not your forte.
Bitch, it isn't your forte either. Nothing that comes out of your face seems to be your forte. So slow your roll.
So I think Coffindoffer is right about that. Oh yeah, I noticed that Jennifer is writing about.
Jennifer Coffindoffer, retired FBI agent, who love her or hate her. I don't hate the woman. I don't love the woman. Clearly she had a career in the FBI, so she did something right. But I'm not on a first name basis with her, and neither is this bitch. She's just a fucking weirdo who wants people to think she is.
Is
Jennifer part of the team?
Coffindoffer's raised the question: what the hell is going on in Tennessee with our children? Yeah.
Well, I myself don't profess to have the answer to that question. But I will say this. I do know that Tennessee, during the opioid crisis, I do believe it was called the Oxy Highway or something like that. But there is a place in Tennessee, and I don't know what city it is, but there is a place where several different interstates all converge. And you can very easily get north, south, east, or west from any one of these convergences. So that could possibly be why Tennessee, if this bitch told me water was wet, I'm going to go get another opinion. So I'm not just taking Betty's word for it. I don't ever take Betty's word for anything. But I have heard many times that it is a very easy place to smuggle things, whether they be human beings or illicit substances. So that, I mean, I'm not bullskank Betty, obviously. And I did not have a career in the FBI. So I'll defer to Coffindoffer, or Jennifer. But see, I can come up with these things on the fly. But Betty, not so much. I don't know why. No, there's a lot of things you don't know.
Yeah.
I get compliments.
Okay, I'm fucking
every
done.
time I use
I'm
this.
done with her ads. I'm done with this. Now we're gonna find the next one. Hi, Nico Japcat. How are you? Two boys, mama. Hi, welcome. Okay, here we go. Read this. Nashville. I-65 to the north. I-40 goes east and west. I-24 goes east to west. Well, there you go. That, Betty, that could be why there's such a problem there. But I mean, I'm not a world famous YouTuber or an FBI agent. So all of that is just supposition on my part. Hi, Tessa. How are you? Kimberly, I believe it was someone in the chat. And quite natural. Listen, there's been many times where I've seen things in the chat, usually people, who have something shitty to say to me, and that's fine. I don't care. But I don't bring it to the attention of everyone unless it's to laugh. But apparently there was no possibility that she could have just read that and either said nothing or said something along the lines of what I just said. I mean, it would be bad enough talking about that when there's an adult involved, but a child, it's just sick. It is really sick. All right. So now somebody tell me, Keezy Ray. Hi, welcome. Oh yes, that is my understanding as well. And shame, Bets. You're not supposed to be doing that. I would like to think that nobody gets to be this person for too long. And even if she gets to continue being this person, thinking she's the only one with rights, the rules don't apply to her, who cares what the judge says, etc. Well, even if she continues to get away with it, I'm sorry. I've said this a few times and I sincerely mean it. Betty, you can go ahead and you can have all the YouTube and you can be you can be a world famous YouTuber, get all the views, get all the money. I would not trade my real life for anything on YouTube. And I assure you, Betty may think she is hot shit on YouTube. She is not. She is inconsequential, just like I am. The difference is I acknowledge it. I'm not up here trying to be the boss of the whole fucking world, the boss of YouTube, the boss of the cases, blah, blah, blah. I don't need to do any of that. I'm just somebody who's got a little bit of time on her hands, a decent internet connection, and I love to talk. So it's a perfect storm. But when I say she's as inconsequential as I am, all I mean is, yes, obviously she's got far more subscribers. But think about it in terms of people who are really known on YouTube. Like, I don't know, people who've gotten a play button along with a direct line to YouTube to a real person. That would be not Betty. In fact, I said to my husband the other day after one of her, stunts, I said, my God, one of her videos had like 16,000 views in an hour. And please do not confuse that. Betty likes to say everybody's jealous of her. Bitch, you go ahead and tell me the one thing you think I am jealous of you over. Perhaps your hair? No. Your beautiful house? No. Black beauty? No. Your wonderful husband? No. Your wonderful boyfriend? No. Your fabulous wardrobe? No. Your sparkling wit and intellect? No. See where I'm going with this? So when I said that to him, he just laughed and he said, that's a non-existent drop in a big ass bucket. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. It is. Like the people my husband watches, they have millions of subs. So when I said that to him, he just, like anybody else, the longer you're playing around here, the more perspective you start losing, which is one of the reasons that I do not go live every day. For me, the sweet spot is about 3 days a week. Any more than that, and it's like I just no, I just can't. It's always gross shit we're talking about, and it gets exhausting. Alaska. Okay. All right. I hope I got anybody who came in while I was over in the other window. I'm just reading some of the chat. All right. Oh wait. What's this mean? Sonia is still pushing an anonymous tip line in this chat. Got the screen. Oh, the one we were just on? You mean like a tip line that's not from law enforcement? Oh, that would be very problematic if that was true. Oh my God. Listen, there's not a damn thing that would surprise me ever where any of these people are concerned. Oh, now that means is that bitch has never met anybody who has real power. Oh my God. Can you imagine? Can you imagine telling YouTube that you are powerful on here? That means you have zero power. I mean, just like people who have money, I've mentioned this before. People who have real money, they don't walk around telling you they've got money. They don't need to. I mean, people who are smart, they don't need to tell you all the time how smart they are. But little Irish girl, we're finding this because I want to see this. Me. Hi. Oh, that's a cute name. Welcome. And I agree. All right. Somebody give me an idea. All right. Let me see here. I think it just came in an email. Stand by. Crimes in Fashion is more than just one person, okay? I've got a production staff, which consists of Crazy Nurse and her dog. I hear one of my producers coming to the door now as we speak, my little Bob. All right, let's see here. Oh, that's a picture of the tip line. I need to just open this. Oh my God. Now that is really interesting. Thank you to the person who sent me that. That is very interesting. I'm not going to do it. But yes, little Irish girl, teamwork makes the dream work. Cuckoo. I mean, yes, I'm like Anna Wintour. I've got a full staff. They go out and they get my Starbucks. They come in, they put my war paint on. Then we go to hair and makeup. And yeah, and then my producer hands me all of the show topics and the timestamps for the day, which I promptly lose. And then come on the air unprepared. But listen, I'm not a professional. That's what I say all the time. This is very unprofessional, but I'm not a professional. Honestly, I am blown away. And I am sure the dog's at the door, but he's not scratching. He's just laying there. I'm quite sure that has been brought to the attention of the people that need to know about it. Like, who answers that tip line, do you suppose? Betty? Betty's mommy? Like, that is, I mean, see, this is a case where I would never do such a thing ever. So I can't even begin to imagine where said tip line, who answers it and why. And why would you think that? Crazy Nurse, you're probably right. It blows my mind. I mean, I've got to think that, and see, this is Betty. This is Betty in a nutshell. Betty is one of these people who, I want to read that screenshot again. I want to make sure it doesn't say anything like call this. I'm going to read it to you. It says, it's Sonia's avatar. She's got her wrench there. And it says, anonymous tip line. And then it gives the phone number. Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, missing, 15-year-old white male, and his height and weight. But then it says, call 1-800-TBI-FIND if you have information. So why is that other number attached to that? I mean, it sounds to me like a really sleazy fucking thing to do. And actually, you know what I think I'll do? I'm going to pull that up. Let me just make sure before I want to make sure that the person that, okay. I was making sure that the person that sent me that is not, that you can't see their email or anything else. And you cannot. So this is the pertinent part. So this is all I'm going to show you. There you go. I mean, you tell me what this is about. Why is that there? That makes zero sense at all. And on its face, and without knowing who answers this phone, and I can assure you, there is not a snowball's chance in hell that I would dial that number. But all that being said, I really don't see any reason why you need anything more than 1-800-TBI-FIND. And I would think that they would not be very happy if someone is trying to run their own, let's say, interference. I mean, that is all sus as hell. It's like everything over there, it's sleazy as hell, because I don't know who this person, who belongs to this phone number, but none of this should be here. This is the only thing that should be there. Let me guess. Maybe this could be dad's number. And you can be sure it's a burner number. That is not good. Not good. That's a real sleazy, gross thing to do. Because guess what, Sonia and Bull Skank? Law enforcement does not need help from you. I'm sure they would love tips, but they don't need you trying to run interference or circumvent tips to get dirt for your fucking nasty show. It's just gross. I mean, is there anything these people will not do? I mean, every time I think I've seen the worst, it gets worse. All right, so now, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't interested in who answered the phone. But not interested enough to dial it. No fucking way. Never. I wouldn't dial it from a burner phone. I wouldn't send a message from a carrier pigeon. No, thank you. There's exactly zero part of me that would want any tie or association to any of those scumbags. No thanks. All right, so now let's find this morning's. Did she do like 12 lives this morning like she, sometimes is known to do? No, we don't want full screen. And I don't want to watch any more of your shitty ad. Okay. Lives. We will not be victims of Proudfoot and Bower socks. Bitch, I know it must be a sad turn of events for you. Because clearly now Betty's looking at herself as the victim, like she always does. But what you need to understand is that Betty's used to being the victimizer. That's the role she is comfortable playing. She doesn't seem to like the medicine that she doles out to whoever she thinks is deserving. Because they looked at her the wrong way, because they said something she didn't like. Yeah, that's Betty. So now Betty is 12. Okay. There's someone else on here I told her she was 12 years old too. Betty may not be quite as mature as a 12-year-old. All you need to know is that it's never Betty's fault. She never does anything wrong. And I've never seen someone with such a fucking persecution complex. That's what she has. She's like a martyr. She's always being persecuted. It could not possibly be that you're just a shitbag. You're a horrible shitbag who does a lot of horrible shitbaggy things to people. No, it could not be that. So, bitch, I haven't seen you be victim to anything. I see you being the victimizer in a lot of cases to a lot of people. And I'm sure that there's people who are reminding these new idiots who have found her that, Betty's not such a nice person. Okay. Ashley Furniture comes to mind. Don and Candace Wells getting them fired. Basically, you're talking about a cow who has an impressive arrest record. I don't give a shit if they're convictions or not. It is not normal to be arrested as many times as Betty has been arrested. She's had 2 DUIs. She's laid her hands on her mother and I believe her ex-husband. She loves to get people fired. People who work. See, Betty hates people who work because Betty doesn't work. So she has no respect for someone who actually goes out and earns a fucking living and has to set an alarm clock and get up in the morning. And she can't even, when she goes to work in the morning with her fucking coffee cock beans or, whatever those assholes are, she doesn't even have the decency to go to work in, I don't know, pajamas that aren't fucking stained while sitting in either her ugly ass bedroom with her shitty fucking wrinkled curtains or the Roach Motel, wherever she happens to be. So you can see what I mean when I say she has no respect for people who actually have to set an alarm clock and get up and go out in the real world and work instead of LARPing all day on YouTube, playing. Let's think of all Betty's pretend jobs. Most importantly, she's a investigative journalist. She's a child advocate. She's a victims advocate. She's an electrician. She's a plumber. She's a car mechanic, but she's not very good because Black Beauty never runs. What else is she? She's been, oh God, she's been all kinds of fucking things. No bra. Oh God, no bra. No bra. Well, what's new? She never wears a fucking bra. Oh yes, twin thing. Plumber. Yes, Danielle. Listen, Betty's not a girl's girl. Okay. Betty is vehemently jealous of any woman who is accomplished. Tell me one woman that Betty has ever stayed friends with. Oh, maybe little Olivia, but I think those two probably just have some kind of we know what Betty wants from Olivia. I never was able to figure out what the fuck Olivia wanted from Betty. Oh yes, little Irish girl, second chair violinist. Yep. Oh, PI. Yep. My goodness, that was interesting. Something just flew against my window. Oh, yes. And who could forget that Betty's been doing taxes since she was 3? Well, she was watching Perry Mason when she was 4, solving crimes, in her own words. Yep, electrician. We got Oh, how about a roofer? When she was getting that fucking hovel she lives in, when she was getting her roof done, she was out there telling them how to do their job. She's a Dairy Queen taste tester. Yeah, yes, Danielle, God, according to her. Yes, she is. She is. Definitely. Yes, she's God with a persecution complex. But yes, this sums Betty up right here. London girl. Yeah, Betty's just a big old hater. Well, we'll save that for a little later. I was going to tell you something else. Oh, a chef. My God, how did I forget? Yep. Oh, body language expert. Yep. Political activist. Yes, thank God. See, I can't keep track of Betty and all her fucking pretend jobs. Oh, paralegal, of course. Oh, hairdresser. She's a DIY hairdresser, which is why she's got that whole situation going on up there. All right. Are we ready for this? I mean, that's a rhetorical question because nobody is ever ready for this bitch. What just happened? Betty, where did you go? I mean, if I could make this happen in real life. All right. What is Oh, there she is. Okay. Come on. My computer is acting up. But the mouse and the keyboard are fully oh my God. She is wearing the same disgusting outfit she had on the other day. Okay, 3 hours ago. Let me just get it. Let me get the before I make you suffer through them. And we're going to get her stupid ass intro. Oh my God, looking a whole ass fucking wreck. I Betty with the good hair, interior designer. Oh, the hell you say? I know somebody else who says they're an advocate for that. Hey, Wine, Crime, and Mayhem, how are you? Oh, real estate agent. Yes, thank you. Oh, see, Nikki, pig farmer. Well, I don't know if she's a pig farmer. She's a pig, and she's as such, she is an expert in pig behavior. What are pigs? What do they? Is there like let's see, there's hogs, there's pigs. I mean, clearly they're mammals. But is there another like subtype, a genus? I don't know. Betty with the good hair. I love that name. She wishes there is no Betty with good hair. Not on here. Oh, God. Hi, Kimberly Jerome. Welcome. Yes, dog trainer. Look at you guys. Professional pantless runner. Okay. All right. Does the insanity? Yes. Oh, no, Bernadette, not just a professional YouTuber, a world famous YouTuber. And can somebody tell me, does the insanity start at the beginning? Does she just start spewing all the venom right away, or do I need to find a timestamp? Oh, and she's going for weather expert. Okay. Yeah, that one's pretty easy. You go out, you stick your head up, and yeah, it's raining. It's not raining. Although Betty'd fucking drown if she was outside and it was raining. The very beginning. Okay. So, like with most things, we'll start at the very beginning. A very good place to start. Hi, Bob. What are you doing? He said, Mom, what are you doing? Are you just coming in to hang out? Hi. Hold on. I'll ask Daddy. Okay. Okay. All right. Queued up, and here we go. Whoops. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, commentary, education, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use that might otherwise be considered infringing. So, Betty, suck it, bitch. Okay. Oh, I hope that didn't just negate everything I said. All right. Oh my God. Why? Why? See, this tells me how dim her bulb really is. How do you? I mean, Betty, can I just tell you something? And this is just my opinion. This is just my take on things. Just little old nobody, me. Why do you think that people talk? And not every. Listen, there's a lot of people on here apparently who are better people than me because they don't think it's fair game to talk about your appearance. I say, fuck that. It's fair game because you are, in my opinion, a horrible person. I just think you're evil. I think you greatly. I think your whole life is a fucking fantasy that you've concocted, and you have found a way to get other fucking weirdos to listen to you. But the reason you could, I'm trying to come up with the right way to phrase this. I don't believe, I'm sure Betty would like you to believe that she's got great self-esteem and that's why she'll come on camera looking like this. I mean, I believe the exact opposite. But when you're as thin-skinned as Betty is, I don't know why you want to give people the little extra of the gift that is Betty. I mean, I've never seen a woman with so little pride, truly. Not one that puts herself out there in the public. I mean, my God, even when you did your fucking bullshit news interview. And by the way, can someone please tell me, I heard Queen Bee say yesterday when I was on the panel that the comments on the news video when they interviewed this dirtbag, Queen Bee said the comments were horrible towards her. Well, and naturally I wanted to read them, but I went to the link that I think literally Davis Fam had in her video, and it took me right to the news piece. However, I couldn't find the comments. So if someone can tell me how to, oh, there's literally Davis Fam. Okay, tell me how to get there because I went to, all right, we're going to watch this real quick. And then literally Davis Fam, are you going to be here for a few minutes? Can you walk me through it? Because, okay, so you're going to email me the link and I'll be able to see the comments because I clicked on the link that took me right to the news piece, but I went all the way down to the bottom. I looked for comments in the middle somewhere and I couldn't find them, but I very much want to read those. So I would very much appreciate that, ma'am. Thank you so much. Okay. But yeah, so Betty, I mean, my biggest problem with Betty has always been, and this isn't just Betty, this would be with anybody that does this kind of thing. She's a liar. She's a poser. She does not have any of these fucking jobs that she has concocted in her head. I mean, I can sit in this chair and tell you I'm Anna Wintour. I'm running Vogue magazine from my office. It doesn't make it true. And just because I scream it at you and tell you how stupid you are because you don't fucking believe me and you don't have education and resources, blah, 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 it doesn't make it any more true. And I've always, people like that have always gotten under my skin. And especially when she starts talking her shit about things that I know for a fact she's full of shit about, like her legal knowledge. I have forgotten more of my legal knowledge than she's ever had. And I don't need to sit up here and pretend I know everything like this one does. And that's another thing. You don't see people who truly have a knowledge base because of their career or their life experience, whatever it is. I mean, I heard this bitch the other day talk about her GPA when she was in high school. Well, bitch, didn't you drop out of high school? She said her GPA was 3.67, and I just burst out laughing. I don't even remember large blocks of high school, much less my GPA. I mean, give me a break. So I just, and there's other things too, like when she wants to talk about, you know, she's this political, like Donald Trump even knows she's fucking alive. And I'm not going to tell you how I know that she has absolutely zero to do with anything involving Trump. You can just either take my word for it or not. It doesn't really matter to me either way. But I just hate liars like this. And it would be one thing if she was a nice liar, but she's not. And if you want to be this person, well, you're going to have people talk about you, because make no mistake, that's her oxygen. But yeah, Betty, like, I don't know why you don't just do the simplest things. Like, I don't know, pull this. Betty, what do you think that people think when they take a look at you? Okay. And not people on YouTube. Let's pretend Betty's applying for a job. And she, you know, I would imagine, as employers do these days, they check out people's social media. Well, Betty, what do you think, Betty of all, jack of all trades, master of zero? What do you think that just somebody off the street, if I showed them this picture and said, tell me what you get from the visual and, you know, then this. I mean, you look a hot ass mess. And somebody who has absolutely no pride in their appearance, and I'm not saying that she needs to do what I do. And by the way, Betty, if you want to see what I look like without makeup, I know you're watching QB anyway, so make sure you watch yesterday's. Yeah, because to me, like, this is fun. I don't do it because it's some kind of security blanket. You know, in the words well, these were her words. In the words of Diane von Furstenberg, not that you're going to know who that is. Feel like a woman, wear a dress. I just don't know why you don't even have enough pride, because it doesn't exactly speak to being a serious person when you look like this. So, you know, you just something to consider, Betty. All right, so let's listen to Hi, Ellen. Oh, I know. I miss heels. You know what? I meant to say this to QB the other day. Hi, Fairy Meadows. How are you? I told you guys the morning after. Yes, literally, Davis. There is nothing. I mean, and I'm not saying I think she needs to get all dolled up every morning. Not everybody's into that. I totally appreciate that. But let's just say that, see my screen right here? You've got Betty on the right, you got me on the left, and then you got this big old black no man's land right here. Well, there's a whole lot of space here between, I mean, obviously she's never going to get to, this being me. But there's a whole lot in this area that she could, work on quite easily. Like, I don't know, a fucking hair tie is one, a bra is two. Like, Betty, what do you have? 3 pieces of clothing? I saw you wearing this Friday, I believe. Like, are you living in this? Do you change your clothes? What? Jeez, gross. But anyway, the morning after I did that live stream about heels, I mean, it was a eulogy. That next morning, when I was out walking the dog, I said, there was, in fact, and I texted Queen Bee that morning, and I said, I was out walking the dog, and I saw the most beautiful, big black and white butterfly that was absolutely putting on a show for me. And I mean that. This butterfly was just, and everywhere me and the dog walked, that butterfly, it just followed us the whole way. And then I shared it. And, a lot of people said, oh, well, that's heels. And I got to tell you, I have seen, now look, I've seen butterflies in my yard before. I have never seen a black and white one like that. Typically you see, like, I think they're monarch butterflies. They're like yellow and brown. The butterfly, if you opened up a kid's book and there was a butterfly, it would, that one. That's what I typically see. But I have seen that same, well, I guess it's the same one. It's very recognizable. It's huge. I mean, the thing is like that big. And several times over the last week when I've been out with the dog, that butterfly is out there. And it's not just out there, it follows me. And it really does like a dance. So I don't know. I like to think that's heels coming by to say hi. Whoops. She's still in my phone. I don't, and my other girlfriend, my best friend that I lost, she's still in my phone. All her text messages are there, all the emails. I don't take anybody out of my phone. Hey, Donkey. She's on the run. Oh, literally, Davis, did you email me that? I'm going to check right now because I think I see it. Okay. It's there. Please tell me it. What the hell just happened? Okay. I see it. Perfect. Thank you so much. All right. Let's listen to this wretched bitch for a few minutes.
Old autistic boy that has disappeared from his home in Hendersonville.
Oh, is somebody sleepy? She didn't have, Betty, it's interesting. Betty doesn't appear to need sleep. Like, Betty, how come you don't sleep? Is it all that coffee you're drinking? Oh, it must be the coffee. She seems rather subdued.
From since, according to his mother, he came home around 6:40.
Don't you have anything else to fucking talk about, lady? I mean, what about all your other important cases, Betty?
After taking the garbage out, retreated to his room and never
retreated to his room. Retreated to his room. Betty, do you think are you on a rooftop somewhere with a scope? Like, retreated to his room. What is this fucking tactical, Betty? He went to his room.
Dumbass. So according to everything that we know, it doesn't sound like she laid eyes on him.
What you know
after,
would fill
or
a thimble.
after he went into his room at 6:30.
I thought he
6:40
retreated.
that night. So, according to his mother, when she woke up, all of his shoes were there, and the house was completely secure. So, I hope everybody is having a wonderful Monday this morning.
Oh, Betty, you certainly sound sincere. I mean, I feel the love. I know that.
There is a major hurricane hitting the state of Florida.
Oh, she is so fucking full of shit. It was not a major hurricane. I think when it made landfall, it might have been a category 1. It was not, I repeat, not a major hurricane.
I mean, it's not a category 5, which is the worst of the worst, but it is a category 1, which is bringing heavy winds, rain, and flooding.
What is your fucking point? Are we getting ready to ask for money for your flypaper roof shingles? Do you need a new roof again?
To the Florida area. So it's nice to see you, me and you, Melissa. It's nice to have you as well. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day.
Oh, there we go.
Day.
Betty's going to itch.
Mom.
Itchy,
It's
scratchy.
good to see you.
Why does it look like her left boob is a little further south of the equator than the right one? Betty, you might want to. I mean, if you'd get a fucking bra, you might not have that problem.
We're staying on this because, again,
We're staying on this because it's bringing me a lot of money.
we're not going to stop.
Betty, what the hell is wrong with the picture above your head? I hope that doesn't fall off the wall. That could be bad. Seriously. Who has a fucking picture in their house that is that crooked, cockeyed? What? Oh, never mind. Crooked.
And everything that they've done to try to silence me is only going to make my voice even louder.
People are not trying to silence your filthy sewer mouth. People want you to stop acting like a fucking stalker and driving by their house, telling people they're murderers, telling people they don't want their son found. What is it about that you don't understand? I mean, this coming from a woman who claims a tracking device was put on her car. I'm pretty sure they make medication for that type of thing, Betty. I mean, God, you are a fucking horrible bitch.
On this platform and other platforms related to the Sebastian Rogers case. What they did was totally stupid. It put them in.
Says the woman that thinks she can sue you into submission, and not with her brilliant legal knowledge. Her strategy is never anything more than to bankrupt you into submission. Like I told her before, Betty, I wouldn't waste $1 on a lawyer going up against you.
Liability, but more importantly,
I wouldn't need it.
You know, I'm pretty sure this is going to get around to Nina, you know, and quite frankly, I think it might just be a little too dangerous for, you know, poor little Faith to.
You are a fucking sick bitch. God, you are fucking shameless. For anybody who doesn't know, Nina is Chris Proudfoot's ex-wife. This one thinks she knows everything about that marriage, the divorce, and the child that's a product of that marriage. And now this is her sleazy, skanky person's way of, you know, it's a veiled threat is what it is. You need fucking help, okay? You need help. Something ain't right with you.
Be around, you know, the Bowersox home or the Proudfoot's home, you know? I mean, it seems like it's a...
You are a fucking vile human being. Are you a human being? I mean, I think you're a creature. There is literally no low you will not. And Betty, if your goal is to be the most hated woman on YouTube, well, I would say congratulations. You finally achieved something in your shitty, miserable life, devoid of accomplishments. I mean, you're just awful. You are wretched. I mean, she is willing to use this child as some kind of like a bully fucking tactic. What exactly is it you think you can do? Like, you think you have some kind of influence over whether or not Chris's parents, who are the Bowersox, get to see their grandchild, you are a sick bitch.
It's a dangerous situation out there, right?
Keep going, Betty. Keep on going. All you're doing is giving. How many TROs does Betty have against her at the moment? 3. She's probably working on number 4. Keep going, Betty. This is great.
People agree. I mean, we got a dangerous situation here. You know, their lives are in.
What the fuck is this? It's very Freudian, Betty. You did this the other day. It seems to me like do you think you're on the witness stand? Do you think you're giving a proffer? Is that what you think you're doing? You think you're giving testimony? Because they're going to give testimony.
In danger.
And I'm sure you're going to show up, Betty, aren't you? To clear your good name.
You know, at both places that poor little Faith would be staying. You know, it just.
I'm to Chris and Katie and the Bowersox, or whoever it is that's got restraining orders on her temporary at the moment. You are all in my thoughts, and I hope that you do indeed get these orders made at least semi-permanent, because I absolutely agree with Katie Proudfoot that she is dangerous. She appears to be having some kind of delusion that she's got some kind of power. But see, this is how scumbag people like her, this is where these people operate. They operate in these areas where and you can almost see the gears, the rusty gears grinding up here. Notice the whole change in her tone of voice. She thinks that by sitting here and talking quiet like this and issuing what she thinks is some kind of edict from on high. You'll have to look that word up, Betty. It's gross, and it's what these kinds of people do. Because normal people, they don't stick their big ass into someone else's worst day, nightmare scenario, ongoing. And everybody sees what you're doing. And while what you're doing may not be in and of itself any kind of, she may not be breaking any kind of law, but I can tell you this. Things taken in totality, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to come to the conclusion that Katie Proudfoot and the Bowersox have, from where I'm sitting, they have a very reasonable case that they would be in fear from this woman, because it's not fucking normal.
Seems really, really bad. It just seems like a bad optic, whenever you're trying to get custody or
oh my God,
visitation
fuck
with your
you.
child.
You are
It just
so
seems like
awful.
it's bad optics,
You are
right?
disgusting.
So I don't know if she's learning about this or she will be learning about this, but it just.
She's a fucking child. You don't know if she'll be learning about this? See, this is why you were never blessed with children, because the powers that be, they must have known you're the last person who should ever be in charge of shaping anyone's mind, because yours seems rather warped. I mean, so she's basically telling them that she has reason to believe that that little girl, who I don't know how old she is she in elementary school? I mean, hey, Heather B. Beachy. I don't even know what to say. But she's this woman who should be like all the rest of us. Do you think I have a personal stake in any of this? I do not. I don't think about these people except when I'm on YouTube and I see what's going on. I absolutely hope to God that Sebastian is found alive and well. And I hope that he will go on to live a happy, healthy life with people who have enough sense, like, I don't know, his mother and stepfather, to stay as far away from this fucking sewer as possible. I mean, I don't know why. Like, Seth, do you really think that associating with this fucking creature on the screen, do you really think that that says I only have the best interests of my son in mind? She is a fucking toxic poison. She is an evil bitch, in my opinion. Anyone who would be making these veiled threats about involving a small child in this disgusting circus, it's depraved in my mind.
Just sounds like it's awfully too dangerous for Faith. You know, I definitely would be very, very, very concerned about that for sure.
I see you doing a lot of things that give me great concern.
You know, with all the craziness and
Yeah.
crazy YouTube.
Yeah, and you're kind of like the ringmaster in charge of the crazy circus.
Threatening their life and stuff. I just seems a little too dangerous for a little girl. That's
what the
all
fuck
I'm
did she
saying,
just
you
say?
know?
Who had their life threatened? Oh my God.
Obviously, the household was a little too dangerous for a boy, a 15-year-old boy, long before we even got here.
It's none of your fucking business. You have no influence and no say. It'll all be left to the judge.
So, you know, now that things are heating up,
Oh,
and there's
crazy
these
eyes,
deranged
crazy
YouTubers
fucking
running
eyes.
loose in the community, you know.
Bitch, you are more further gone than I already think you are if you cannot see the problem here. You are the problem, okay? And all it would take is a normal person who doesn't partake in this. I don't think it's going to be very hard to convince anyone that they don't feel safe with you in the immediate vicinity.
Oh, I would be, if I was Nina, I'd be so concerned about this, you know, her child.
You don't know anything about concern for a child. And the only thing you care about is yourself.
So we'll see how this all plays out with
Yeah, I
the
guess we
custody
will.
situation that's going on. But, you know, it sounds like it's really dangerous over at the Bowersock's. Probably not the best place for Faith to be. It sounds like it's pretty dangerous over at the Proudfoot's house, you know, according to everything that they're making statements about, allegedly. You know, I have not received anything yet. So we'll see.
Says a busted up, crazy sounding bitch who has never had any children, who's got 3 separate TROs against her at the moment. And she wants to tell you what's unsafe.
See what
I
happens.
don't even like
when
sharing the state of Florida
things
with her.
are received, you know, from court, and I'm required to attend court hearings. We'll definitely get down to the court hearings
Good.
as required. So
Can't wait.
it's nice to see you. I know a lot of people. You guys are more than welcome. If you know, obviously there's a court proceeding going on. According to the everything I'm reading, again, I don't
Is Betty calling for a wingman or two?
know who's got this protective order.
You are a fucking lying sack of shit. And if God,
because outside of the news, you know, we only have, when I go to look, there's nobody there. So they're going to have to serve me so I can understand what's going on.
hey, dumbass, this is about the bazillionth time that you have made it very well known that you are aware of all of this. I'm not Betty. I'm not going to sit up here and pretend that I know what all the particulars are as far as affecting service of process, which is just a legal way to say getting her served. But there is such a thing as constructive service of process. I don't know what the threshold is for any of that because I am not a fucking weirdo who has people from the internet feeling so unsafe because of my stalkerish behavior that they're taking restraining orders on me. I also I don't have anyone I need to put a restraining order on. So I don't know. I don't know. Of course, Betty will act like she knows all about it, but she probably knows less than I know. And I don't know anything about it.
On, and that's the proper process and a requirement that they have to do, especially with me being this massive threat from Florida.
You just dog whistled for all of the internet. You just made a very poorly veiled threat to all of the people that have restraining orders, temporary restraining orders on you. You were dumb enough to just like she can't help herself. This is the venom. See, that's why I said venom and spice and nothing at all nice. These are the things that Betty is made of. Betty is black and rotted on the inside. She is a hateful, angry, mean human being. And she's not very bright. Because anybody who's remotely normal and has a little bit of sense will understand exactly what you just did. And she can't help herself. She cannot help herself. I mean, there's something wrong with her. I don't fucking know what it is, but she seems to have a real problem with being told no. She doesn't know any boundaries with anybody. She thinks her rights supersede anyone else's. And apparently she has spent a lifetime having other dumbass people embolden her because no one's gotten her in check. And I just hope that someone will before someone gets hurt, because from where I'm sitting, this is all it's very troubling. It is. Nobody from the internet who doesn't know jack shit more than I know or you know, except gossip from the spurned ex-husband, I guess. Nobody should be this personally involved. Bitch, do you not get this? They're going to show a judge. This is some and I promise you, they've got your best clips all ready to go. You combine that with the fact that you're fucking broke as a joke, but you will get in your car and you will drive hundreds of miles to go stalk and harass people. And that's exactly what you're doing. And I don't want to hear the fucking song and dance about, well, I know my rights, and there's nothing illegal about driving by their house and filming myself stalking them. You are trying to intimidate them into silence or whatever the fuck it is you want from them, because that's who you are. When someone pushes back, she's not used to anybody pushing back against her. And she likes to pick people that she thinks she's got some advantage over. Oh, for the fucking life of me, I cannot imagine what this bitch thinks she's got over anybody. That's the part that leaves me scratching my head. Oh, but not like Betty, where I do that and then eat whatever I scratched in my head. You don't think that that's going to be compelling for a judge? I mean, you do know that people get convicted of circumstantial cases all the time, right? Hold on a minute, y'all. I need to tell Mr. Crimes in Fashion. I had to ask Mr. Crimes in Fashion to take the dog out. He was getting something to eat in the kitchen. Yeah, Betty. Like I said, I don't sit around looking up stalking laws and the like because I don't do shit like that, so I don't need to do that. But I can tell you the totality of the circumstances to me is quite compelling. And I would think that it would be enough for a judge to sit back and evaluate all of it. And of course you're going to show up like a good girl and you'll get your Betty. Most people get their day in court. Well, my God, you've probably had a whole fucking calendar year full of days, your days in court, but you're going to get your chance to tell the judge why what he's seeing is not veiled threats. It's not creepy intimidation. It's not fucking stalking, etc. And hey, if you're on the right side of the argument, I guess you'll go on to live another day. But from just a normal person who doesn't have this kind of fucking drama and doesn't want this kind of drama, I'm telling you, if we showed your behavior in little bites, because let's face it, nobody's got the rest of their life to watch all your crazy shit. I mean, I have to think that at least 8 out of 10 people would say, yeah, I'd be concerned if I was the target of all this behavior. But hey, you're not worried. She's not pressed at all. Okay. There's no there. She's not worried. A powerhouse. Well, she might be in the she's working her way into the heavyweight class. I don't know about a powerhouse. Yeah. Powerhouse, my ass. She's a fucking nobody. She's a fucking weirdo from the internet who thinks she's running things. She's not. Hi, MS. How are you? Okay, carry on, Betty.
They're going to have to serve me here. Good morning, Tony. It's nice to see everybody this morning. Let me just go through and say hi to everybody.
Why would you wear that tank top? The color's fucking atrocious. And it doesn't fit. Get a bra. Get a bra. I'm tired of being traumatized by your tits. Okay. I know you're very bothered by mine. Well, guess what? I'm bothered by yours too. Get a fucking bra.
It's nice to see everyone.
Would you like me to send you one?
Phil, me and you, SRK, Alex. It's nice to see you, Teresa.
Oh, she really.
Carol,
boy,
DNA,
Betty, put some feeling into that.
Addict, Ginger, Barbosa. It's nice to see you, all of my beautiful people.
Oh, all of my beautiful
here.
people.
Already have a massive amount of people already tuning in.
Oh my God. She's got a massive amount of people already tuning in. What's the population of the United States? Does anyone know offhand? I don't care if she's got fucking 10,000 people in there and she doesn't. But what if she did? What's the, no, you see where I'm going with this. Like,
so many of you know this is a whole bunch of bullcrap.
Then why,
lied under oath? They're
Betty,
trying to say,
why do you keep talking about it? And Sweet Pea, I think you've lied under oath several times, at least according to your filings. But that's a lawsuit for another day, isn't it?
That I'm encouraging my that's what I'm reading.
Hey, did you forget what you just did a second ago? Your veiled threat that somehow the Bower Sox wouldn't get visitation with their grandchild because Bullhorn Betty is going to do something about it. Betty, do you have people talking to you through the fillings in your teeth by any chance?
Again, I don't know because I haven't received it. Is this true?
And
is it not true?
Betty has not.
It's.
She has not fucking stopped talking about this since it happened last week. If there was no there, See, what a smart person would do is shut the fuck up about it. But she's not a smart person. So she is going to keep. Betty, are you a fan of Shakespeare? Was it Hamlet or Macbeth? Macbeth, I think. The lady doth protesteth too much. Yeah. You're pressed. You're bothered. It's obvious.
It's got to be served. That's the importance of the service of process. So the person that this stuff is coming to, they have a full understanding.
You're the person this stuff is coming to.
Of what is being said and what their rights are. Give me just a second.
This is Better Call Saul, Bullhorn Betty, giving you a tutorial on the law. I mean, you would think by now that she should be an expert in, stalking and intimidation, etc.
Second, let me just turn something off.
Like, I don't know, every man who's looking at you right now.
There we go. Sorry about that. I needed to turn something off. So good morning. Yes, it's nice to see all Nola's moms up in here. SPED teacher.
She looks
Emma,
like
nice to
and
see
sounds
you. And
like
thank you for all the
she
people
just ate a plate of shit. But it's nice to see you all. Oh my God.
that have been reaching out and
Put some
sending
oomph
me,
into it.
all the threats that Chris has made toward me, all the threats that
I have never heard him threaten you. But even if he had, well, I mean, I could sort of understand it.
including, Terry obviously following me around. So
I saw you behind his car. You got out of your car like a fucking lunatic, went up to his car to ask him why he was following you, as you are wearing, wasn't she wearing a picture of his missing grandchild on her shirt after traveling hundreds of miles from Florida? That's what I saw.
I'm keeping all that in,
But
in
she's
a
the
folder.
victim.
And some people are like,
Oh, Betty has moved from binders to folders.
oh, well, there's no these people have damaged me. They have.
Betty, according to you, everybody on YouTube has damaged you. I mean, have you ever considered just possibly, I don't know, being a nicer person?
Slattered my name all over, local media, and
which you love. You live for that shit. You think it's a good thing to be on the news. Normal people do not think it's a good thing to be on the news.
National media at this point, whether or not that we think that this is a crazy thing or not, my reputation has been damaged.
Your reputation was in the trash can when you got here. You were outed. I think you hadn't even had time to sit in the seat before the people who ran you off of TikTok blasted your criminal record all over YouTube. So exactly what reputation is this that they have damaged? You have the reputation that you have richly earned
because of these false allegations. And so those things are going to have to, at some point, now remember, I have statutes of limitations. So I'll be making
how
sure
about your allegations? You have told people that they killed their son. You have told people they don't want their son found. You've told people that they're not doing anything to find their son. What I haven't heard them say one word about you. What is it that they've said that has damaged your sterling reputation? Good luck proving that.
Before I come after.
Yeah, when they go into court, they'll take out her arrest record that
a lot of people, from my understanding,
like aisle runner at one of my weddings.
Related to this, she never had a hearing, so that's what it is. She's never been before a judge before to get an order of protection. All they had to do was make a statement to it and try to extract me. So what they're trying to do,
try to extract you. Betty, have you been watching tactical videos? A few minutes ago, you said Sebastian retreated to his room. And what did she just say? What word did she just say? I don't even remember. Like has somebody been watching tactical videos? That's what it sounds like.
Do is control my
extract her.
my court hearing. I find it a little funny that all these things keep happening.
Betty, when I hear the word extract me or extract her, I think of like in jail or in prison when they have to send in the tactical team because somebody didn't want to return their food tray or whatever. I mean, to try and extract me. Well, what are they extracting you from?
Happening right about the time that I have a court hearing or paperwork done.
Betty, I mean, I got to give them this. It's very difficult to keep up with your many court hearings. I mean, I think we need to elect a clerk of CRAMA to keep track of Betty's legal calendar. Can we get a volunteer for that?
In my other lawsuit. So it seems very strategic.
Says no freaking normal person. Like, how many lawsuits do you have? Are they alphabetized? Because we got to come up with some way to keep all this straight.
Say the least, especially one falling right on the 16th, the day I'm having a hearing and allegedly,
Do you think that they set the fucking court calendar in Tennessee around the clerk of the court in Illinois? I mean, do you not understand how this works? All they do is make the application, make the filing. I mean, they're not in charge of the calendar.
Falling on the 16th again, I haven't received the paperwork and will be deciding what I.
Well, that's funny because she knows about all that, but she keeps stressing how she hasn't received the paperwork. I don't know. And, this may be one of the rare instances where Betty's right. I doubt it. But she seems to be the linchpin of this whole thing that she seems to be clinging to is, well, I haven't been served. And like I said, if she told me water was wet, I'm getting another opinion. So I don't know if constructive service can come into play because we're talking about different states. This is a domestic matter, which I also think I don't think any of that is contained in the public records because, you're talking about a domestic situation and there's been, well, I don't know that they've alleged, well, they couldn't have alleged violence because she hasn't laid hands on them yet. But yeah, I can tell that she really thinks that the service of process is somehow going to save her, which still doesn't jive with, I mean, it's obvious that she's pressed about this. It's very obvious.
I do upon proper service of that. I'm not waiving my service of process by any stretch of the imagination. I need to see what is being said and what my recourse is. So at the end of the day,
this is Betty's Jailhouse Lawyer 101 tutorial class on service of process.
One of the only things that they can do is, since they haven't been before the judge, is go and present all their evidence about how much of a threat I am, which is absolutely they're not going to be able to meet the threshold.
Then what are you worrying about? You keep going on and on and on about this. If you're not worried about it and not bothered by it, then why are you harping on this?
Of. So people, I think, are blowing this out of proportion greatly because they think they have no idea about the law, first and foremost.
Oh no, Betty knows everything about the law. She knows about all the law in all the states, in all the places, in all the laws. Betty is the premier. Betty, how come you never went to law school, girl? I mean, you know so much and you're so smart. I mean, why didn't you go be a lawyer? Oh yeah, you probably couldn't pass the they have a little personal character part of sitting for the bar exam. Yeah, I don't think she could pass that.
Again, in a world of Google and other internet, ignorance is a choice.
Oh my God. As it says the bitch who directly copied and pasted / plagiarized large parts of her first lawsuit against QB from her, well, if you believe her former lover, JLR. Oh, Betty.
But even if they did read it,
you're not a Google lawyer
or the knowledge to understand or interpret that.
No, Betty has it all. I mean, look, listen, she's wildly successful. She's got a hugely successful career. And that's what gives her standing to pontificate on all these things. It's her vast legal knowledge and her wildly successful legal career. Yeah. She doesn't even have a high school diploma. She has a GED. Not that I'm knocking anybody who got a GED, but this is Betty, so fuck her.
Language that is in the code, but it sounds like she's never been before a judge. She's never had to plead her case.
See, this is
And,
what
she's going to be going-
very insecure people do. They sit back and they want to tell you how smart they are and how all you little people are just too stupid. You don't understand the law. I understand the law. I know how to read it. I know how to interpret it. Look at her in her very powerful fucking live stream office with a picture that looks like it could probably kill her if it falls at the right angle off the wall. She is not wearing a bra, and half of her hair is fucking looks like dryer lint. I rest my case, Your Honor. Verdict for the plaintiff.
going in there, and she's going to have to proffer the evidence against me.
Oh my God. Somebody is stuck on the word proffer. She's going to give testimony. I've already talked about. Now, listen, I'm not saying that the word proffer cannot be used interchangeably with testimony. However, think back in your memory. What is the situation when you typically hear about someone making a proffer? Well, it's usually in a criminal case, and it's usually someone who could be either indicted as a co-conspirator, party to the crime, and, maybe they're the smarter of the either duo or of all the people involved. And their lawyer says, look, dumbass, you're looking at some time here. And the one who talks first gets the deal. Oh, you might be right. Yeah, what do I got to do? Hold on. Let me call the DA and I'll call you back. One ringy-dingy. Two ringy-dingy. Hey, Saul. Hey. Yeah. Well, my client is thinking that they might be ready to take a deal. They might be ready to help you put away Walter White. Oh, really? Okay. Well, what do you got for us? Well, my client and I will meet you whenever it's your earliest convenience. Okay, how about 1:00 this afternoon? Great, we'll be there. And then who was Jesse? Jesse's Walter White sidekick. Jesse comes in, and Jesse doesn't want to be, indicted as a co-conspirator. So Jesse's going to give the DA the goods on Walter. Of course, Jesse's probably going to be found dead before he gets to testify, but that's besides the point. And he's going to come in and he's going to make a proffer where he is going to tell the district attorney, it's going to be a little preview. I'm not going to give it all to you, but I'm going to give you a little preview of the knowledge I have that I can testify to that can put your guy away, that can put Walter behind bars, and end the super, what did they call it? Was it the blue? They called it super blue or something like that. That is when you typically hear proffer. So Betty's been listening to something, or she's read something. See, and what she thinks is that this makes her sound smarter than the average bear out there. She's not smarter than Smokey Bear, okay? And he's a cartoon. So that's all I have to say about the proffer
that she has, and I can tell you it would never rise to the burden of being a threat to her life or even.
Well, guess what? That's not for you to decide, pumpkin. Betty, you got so much on your plate. I know you're always so tired from all your work, from your job you don't have. Betty, relax, girl. Take this off your plate. This is something you don't need to worry about. The judge is going to decide if they've met their burden or not.
the elements necessary for harassment. So this case, by law, no, this is not this is the law. The judge has to follow the law.
No shit.
And by law, it doesn't sound like she's going to be able to maintain this cause of action. And
Then I
she's not
guess
gonna
you've got nothing to worry about. So shut up already.
be able to maintain this.
The more you talk, better it is for all the people involved in all the suits and all the requests with you. It doesn't help you. This only hurts you, dumbass. So please keep talking.
Protective order. This is something that she was able to underhandedly do in accordance with Tennessee.
Underhandedly do? How do you figure? I would think if it was underhand, and God knows Betty's never done anything underhanded. So, I mean, hey. I would think if it was underhanded, how did what? Well, go ahead, Betty. Tell me some more.
Law, but she's never proved. She's never had to. All she had to do was write down statements. She's never had to really produce anything for the courts.
Hey, asshole, like you like to say, it's the legal process. Well, she had to do the first step in the process where you type it or write it. And then a judge who has a high school degree, a college degree, has graduated law school, and also was either voted and or appointed into office to be a judge. They get to decide if they see enough there to issue a temporary stay away. Well, in your case, they thought all three people made enough of a preliminary case to have it approved. And they don't approve every TRO application. In fact, I know someone a few years ago who had someone, it was a divorce situation, and one of the spouses wanted one against one of the other spouses as they were going through the divorce. And the judge was like, no, they couldn't even get the temporary one. So they don't all just get approved across the board. And now they go to the second step of the process, which will be testimony, I presume,
as to why she needs it. And that's kind of how the Tennessee law works. So,
well, let's see. You yourself requested a TRO against Queen Bee, who lives several states away, who's never laid eyes on you, nor you her. Isn't that interesting?
So now she's got to go into court, and of course, I haven't been served.
I'm sure
She's
she
gotta
can't
go in
wait
there by herself and express why she needs an extension on this protective order, and she's not going to be able to meet the burden necessary.
She is so pressed. She is so pressed. I mean, she just can't. Like, she loves saying, Betty, are you trying to convince yourself, or are you trying to convince all of us? Because I think it's both. I don't think you're very confident at all that she won't be able to prove her case.
To extend that protective order, and unless she fabricates stuff. But
again, there we go. Unless
stuff, the judge is most likely going to be very skeptical, especially of her current situation. Then I think
and Betty, you do realize that she's a free woman, right? And so is her husband. They have not been named as suspects. It has been said that all the parents have cooperated. It's just assholes like you who think that they know more than law enforcement does. So that is her current situation. Her current situation, which if you were not so hateful and bitter and fucking stupid, you might be able to sit back and say, you know what? Her current situation might actually give her an advantage over you because it's pretty emotional. And here you've got this poor woman whose current situation is the following. She's got a missing child. She has not been named a suspect. Neither has her husband. And it has been said she has fully cooperated with law enforcement, as have the other two parents. That is her situation. And then to add to that, as if that's not enough, you've got some fucking nutter from Florida who thinks she knows more than law enforcement. She thinks she cares more about this child than his family does, thinks she's more capable to find him. I mean, she thinks she's getting close. Yo, you're getting close to a whole lot of things. It's just not the things you think it is. So that's her current situation.
Everybody, it sounds like everybody in her community, law enforcement alike, know that they lie regularly. We, the public, know they lie.
Well, we know you fucking lie regularly. And I must have missed that. Did y'all catch that? I mean, I don't pay attention to this case like, 98% of the people in this community do, because I like all the scum that's surrounding it, involving themselves in it, like this one. Have y'all heard law enforcement say that they know they lie? Like, she is literally making this shit up as she goes along. But please, Betty, keep talking, because it's really good for everybody but you.
Regularly. I really don't think a judge is going to be taking their word as as honorable. So I have
There's
a funny feeling that
nothing
the judge
honorable about you. That is a word that no one would associate with you. And again, for the 500th time, this is not your call. You're not the boss of this. The judges.
judge is already going to technically be skeptical. It doesn't matter how buddy they are. The law is crystal clear in the state of Tennessee, and they will never be able to meet the burden.
Well, then look, you're getting all wound up about nothing, Bats.
Especially if they go to my channel, because
so
I've never
pressed.
encouraged people. I had people.
Oh, be careful here. Oh, contraire, mon frere. I've heard you put some dog whistles out. I've heard you tell your people to.
Everybody's doing that, so why pick on just bullhorn?
Well, I'm smarter than you, so I'm not gonna make it up as I go along. But you're full of shit.
Dolly flying drones overhead.
Oh, now we're gonna bring Dolly into it, like a fucking 12-year-old. Well, I know they are, but what am I? I know you are, but what am I? Well, look at what Dolly did. He flew a drone. Well, it's not his fault. You're too fucking stupid to figure out how to fly a drone.
Jonathan Lee Rich is knocking on their door or riding their neighborhood multiple times. So why are?
So have you. I don't think you've knocked on their door, but you filmed yourself fucking stalking where Chris's RV is. I mean, do you think that's normal? Like, seriously, do you think that indicates someone who is wrapped tight? It would be weird enough if you were doing this shit and you lived local to the town. But to drive hundreds of miles to do this, honey, you lost all perspective on reality. This ain't normal.
Are they just picking on Bullhorn Betty? It doesn't make sense. And the
poor
only thing that makes
Bullhorn
sense is that I'm
Betty.
the only one still here. Well, I'm not the only one. There's several of us still here.
Hey,
searching for.
Shut up. You want to be this person. You think you're Betty Badass. That you're really just busted up, Betty. But this is who you want to be. You want to be this person. You want to have the fucking big mouth. You want to be driving hundreds of miles to fucking film people. It's bizarre. You want to fucking scream in front of people's houses with bullhorns. You think it's a good thing to be interviewed by the news. I mean, what don't you get about this? This is what goes along with that. But leave your persecution complex wherever you left your fucking bleach. You're not a victim. You're a victimizer.
But I'm looking at different stuff. I'm not out there in the woods searching. I'm trying.
No, you're trying to intimidate them from, within 17 inches of the fucking, whatever delineates the public space from the private space. That's what you're trying to do. So you think because you're not in the woods, wow.
Find leads that's going to lead to the location that Chris may or may not have been, and I'm allowed to do that. Period.
And they're allowed to try and get a TRO on you.
There's nothing preventing me from doing that.
Then shut the fuck up. Quit whining like a little bitch. You are bitch made. If anybody is bitch made on this platform, it's you.
Some people sat there and said, "Oh, I showed my
This bitch can dish it, but she cannot take it.
gun on YouTube.
You did.
It's a threat." No,
You
it
did.
clearly says I support this 2A. Hardly a threat. No,
It was a fucking veiled threat. Everybody knows what it was. That's when you were having a little temper tantrum over Queen Bee. Do you remember that? Yeah, we remember it. In your community post. And why are you deleting videos, Betty? Betty doesn't lie, though, except when she does lie, which is a whole lot of the time. Betty, shame on you. You told that reporter I don't ever delete anything on my channel. Shit, do you know how many people have come into just this live stream to say that you're deleting shit left and right? But don't you worry, Betty, because what also goes along with wanting to be this person, well, you got people who, not me, because I don't give a fuck about you, but you got a lot of people who will make it their business to make sure that you can delete left, right, center. People have it screen recorded.
So people
pointless.
don't understand even what a threat is. They have like,
oh wow. So now we're all, none of us, we're too dumb to know what a threat is. But Betty's going to tell us about it. And this might be an area that she actually knows what she's talking about.
Literally no clue even what constitutes a lawful threat. And so at the end of the day, all these people chattering their boxes, oh, if you don't do this, if you don't do that, have no legal education whatsoever.
Neither do you, as far as I'm concerned. And I don't give a fuck about the finance company you went to school at.
Looked at the law. So I would definitely reconsider what people are telling you as fact, because
who are you speaking to?
Literally no stinking clue.
And she loves the word literally. Like, Betty, you need to put literally down. You need to literally give literally a literal rest. Okay, enough. Find a new word. Did you finally learn how to use behoove and bode? Well, no, I know you don't know how to use bode. And I'm sure you don't know how to use behoove either, but you need to put literally, put it down, give it a break.
I'm going to let them serve me properly. That's the rights I have.
I'd say that's up for debate. There's a whole lot of people that seem to think that your sudden very important trips here, there, everywhere, from no-tell motel to mommy's house and everywhere in between. Oh, there's a lot of people that seem to think that you might be doing that to skirt getting served. I mean, and if I were you and I was an innocent woman, I would want to be vindicated. And the first step in that process would be opening the door and accepting service of process. And then that's the first step in your journey to being vindicated as a good person.
Right now I'm not waiving any kind of service of process whatsoever. And until I do so, they're going to have to justify this to the courts, both of them.
As you
I have
said,
a feeling with
about 12 times already. You just keep repeating the same shit over and over.
A freaking hurricane in the state of Florida.
It was a nothing burger, and I can tell you it was an absolute nothing burger where she was.
Law enforcement is not going to be hunting Bullhorn Betty down.
No, they're not. She is absolutely correct about that. I would agree. They have better things to do.
Okay. They don't really give a crap about this legal process going on in Tennessee to literally track me down.
Stop saying literally, asshole. Do you know that really when you should be using that is when you're trying to demonstrate that you're speaking in the literal reality of the situation or the thing and not the figurative situation. Like, quit using that word. Enough.
Okay, it's not like that. It may be a big deal to some of these hate channels, but trust me, real life people, law enforcement, they don't care.
You're a clown.
Moreover,
Betty, if you don't fear it, then why haven't you accepted service yet? I mean, you could do that. Why haven't you done it?
Pockets of hate channels here on YouTube.
Just because someone speaks out against you doesn't mean they're a hate channel. I'm not a hate channel. I don't even hate you. I think you're a flaming bag of shit. I think you're an asshole. I think you're a fucking evil person. But do I hate you? I don't care enough about you to hate you.
You do not dictate the world. As you can see, I have a lot of friends that are.
You don't have any friends. And you are the only person who thinks that you, quote unquote, dictate the world. I mean, I'm lucky I can dictate in my house. The world? No, I leave that to you.
Are in media, okay? Over here in YouTube.
You do not have any fucking friends in media. If you do, Betty, I got a question for you. How come we've never seen like a positive piece written about you? If you've got all these friends in media and they think you're out there doing the Lord's work, well, then how come nobody's ever come out with like a counter opinion piece? Like the opposing op-ed. How come that's never happened? Betty, as a matter of fact, why don't you write an op-ed? That's strictly rhetorical. I mean, I would think that for somebody who's had a lot of bad press, although in this fucking warped world that she lives in, I'd be willing to bet that she's a student of the P.T. Barnum school of thought. But you see, P.T. Barnum, in his case, he was right because he was making an ass ton of money. She's not. And his philosophy was all publicity is good publicity. Well, if you're running a circus, yes. If you're just a fucking normal person trying to get through life without thinking you're fucking in charge of everybody, like she is literally like she's like some kind of little maniacal dictator. That's what she thinks she is. That's why I used to call her Batista Betty.
With these hate channels and these nobodies.
And who are you? What makes you an anybody? You're a real life loser. I know that.
They can keep talking smack and everything like that, but at the end of the day,
you accept it so well, as we see.
To tap into nationwide publications to get our messaging out. Why? Because I'm Bullhorn Betty, and that's something.
Well, maybe you can call one of your powerful friends in the media, and they can loan you like the in-house lawyer, and they can help you out with your little problems. Because I assure you, you are way out of your depth.
Something everybody's going to have to understand. Okay, I'm out there. I work with these people. For example, Daily Mail. Do you understand that I've traveled?
That's a fucking gossip rag, Daily Mail, and they buy articles or news bites, whatever. Listen, I'm not a typical Daily Mail reader. The bitch cannot compose even a community post that convinces me that English is her first language. Her grammar, her usage, her punctuation is atrocious. It is abysmal, almost non-existent. I'm being charitable when I say it looks like a middle school kid who's having a tantrum wrote the majority of her community posts. I'm sorry. The price of admission to call yourself a journalist is at least convincing 99% of the reading public that English is indeed your first language.
He's been just about it. Their photographer has been just about every single high profile case with me, including Gabby Petito.
Because you're a fucking clown. You're ring number 3 in the 3-ring circus. Do you get this? Nobody's there because they think you're like doing anything good. I have never seen a positive piece written about you.
I know them very well. I know Brian Enton. I know Court TV. I know a lot of.
Oh my God. Okay, Betty, it's your story. You tell it. Well then, Betty, what's wrong with you? Don't you have higher aspirations than being the king of fucking sleaze and drama? I mean, why don't you go get a job as an anchor for Court TV? News Nation. Maybe Brian Enton will let you carry his fucking camera bags. I don't know. What? Why are you like slinking around here trying to be a big fish in a little tiny fucking sewage pond? I don't get it. Like you got all these friends in high places. What? You just willingly want to hang out in the gutter? I mean, I don't get it.
People. Nancy Grace. I've
Oh.
met her before.
Oh, are you and Nancy like this? Oh my God. Okay, so let me make sure I understand this. You might have walked by Nancy Grace at some kind of crime con or some such thing, and now she knows Nancy Grace. Well, by your standards, bitch, I know Nancy and Jane Bliss Mitchell. Bombshell tonight. Oh yeah, me and Jane and Nancy, we go back a long way, like at least 20 years, girl. So hell, look, I didn't know I also have friends in high places. Well, no, yeah, I think I kind of did, just not them.
I've met
Oh,
Brian Enton. I was out there in front of Gabby Petito's house for 5
acting
weeks with
the
Brian Enton.
fucking fool.
He's a very nice
Acting
guy.
the damn
I actually
fool.
saw.
Yeah, Betty, you might want to study him a little more. He does seem to be a nice guy. And guess what? Do you know how you get people to tell you things when you're in the information business? Well, what you don't do is behave like you, because nobody even wants to fucking stand next to you, never mind tell you things. So if you listen, Betty, just in case you ever get higher aspirations to climb out of the trauma gutter and go make it big in the media, the real media. Well, you need to remember these things. You're going to need sources, and you're not going to get them by being a horrible, wretched bitch.
His videographer with another guy at a Trump rally. I think it was the Virginia
Because they
Trump
stood
rally.
next to each other.
And
I remember
we
what she's
sat there
talking
and said
about.
hi to each other. So it's like, these.
And I also remember him. I believe it was in the Rolling Stone article? I also distinctly remember Brian Enton saying that he was leery of people like you and your ilk, people who will go and stand in front of people's houses and scream through bullhorns. So, yeah, I do believe I'm paraphrasing, but I do believe it was something along the lines of, oh, yeah, I said hi because this is a woman that, obviously if she gets angry with you, she'll go stand in front of your house and scream. Yeah, Betty, you're great friends.
People are idiots that
You're
think
an idiot.
that everybody, that just because they say something that it makes it true here on the streets of YouTube, because let's face it, they have a small cesspool of crap people, of 7,500 crap people.
Betty, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, honey, but finally a position of power. You're at the bottom of the cesspool. And we all know who she's talking about.
On this platform of billions of people. So, at the
But
end of
you're
the day,
somebody.
you're speaking to their
You're
echo
somebody.
chamber. We're reaching out.
I don't know if, well, I guess this is worldwide. I guess there could be billions of people. Which, Betty, by your own statistics, that should prove to you how you are as insignificant as I am. But at least I'm attractive and I'm smart. And I know I said that smart people don't have to tell you they're smart, but I think I show you that, every time I talk to you. But, you've gotten enough of your shameless plugs in. Hell, I'm going to get one for myself.
A lot broader than our echo chamber here on YouTube. I have large platforms and I've got almost 8,000.
You try to go to Betty's chat and give her any kind of pushback on anything she says, and you watch what happens. Yeah. She's very accepting of other opinions, just like Castro and Batista and Stalin and, all those great guys.
1,000 people on Twitter. I've got,
God, Betty, go.
Between the two channels, I don't know, 150,000.
Betty, I don't even Twitter, and I know. It's called X now. It's no longer Twitter.
Plus on TikTok.
Is that before they ran you off when you came to YouTube, or have you revived your TikTok career. What? Well, I know she's back on the TikTok again. Grow the fuck up. God almighty.
We have, on this channel alone, we have over, between the two channels, 40 something thousand.
Oh my
followers
God.
on this
Are you
platform
kidding
alone.
me? 40,000? Well, let's think about what percentage of billions, by her own words, what percentage would 40,000 be? Infinitesimal. Kind of like me and my couple thousand. Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about two people that can't produce their son and want us to believe the horse crap coming out of their mouth.
It matters not what you believe. You have no position of authority. Nobody owes you a damn thing.
As true. And maybe some people do believe it, but I can tell you, law enforcement, from all the law enforcement I've talked to and had review this case, surely do.
Wait a minute. Betty's had law enforcement review this case. She's had law enforcement review this case. You're fucking delusional. And if you're getting ready to sit here and say that law enforcement of any kind told you that they don't believe them, I'm calling you a liar. There is no law enforcement that would talk to you or me or a fucking dog named Boo, the man in the moon. None. About an active case. You are so full of shit.
One way. And even the law enforcement people here on the streets of YouTube have a problem with everything that's being said from Katie and Chris.
Anybody can have any problem they want with anything anybody says. It's the ones who are normal that leave it here. It's the fucking ones who are not wrap tight, who think that they should get in their car and go act like they're some kind of authority and like Johnny Law, citizen fucking detective. Citizen Kane, sit down.
So this idea that it's just me or it's just my opinion or I have some way of.
I know you are, but what am I? Nobody said it was just you. I think you're at the top. Well, let's just say this. I know there's a lot of people who their thinking is in line with yours as far as, them thinking that have played some role in their son's disappearance. And hey, I don't take anybody's opinion away as far as that goes. Anybody can feel however they want to feel about all of it. I mean, isn't that kind of life? But you seem to be the only one they have felt the need to take a TRO out on. 3 to be exact. Wonder why that is.
Dictating all these other channels that have hundreds and thousands of subscribers, that somehow I'm influencing that is ridiculous. People,
I don't know about that. I don't, anybody who's got hundreds of thousands of subs, sweetheart, they don't need you. They don't need any help from you. I don't think their complaint is that you're influencing people. I think their complaint is you are exhibiting that you don't appear to be wrapped too tightly, and your ever escalating behavior is making them fearful of you.
People are interested in this case.
It's not that
what
fucking
people do on their own
complicated.
time and by themselves is their own business. And if they send it to me, I'm going to use it. If they email it to me, I'm going to use it. If they post it on social media, guess what? I'm going to use it.
Honey, you go ahead.
I
You do you. But if you then, for maybe the first time in your life, have to be held accountable for your actions, then don't sit up here and cry how you've been persecuted.
Looking for any information to locate the whereabouts of Sebastian Rogers. And the only way we're going to find that is to know where Katie and Chris were, because at the end of the day, out of their own mouth, their child was sheltered. Their child had some issues and some tics about him that would make him completely, utterly melt down if he didn't have his shoes on.
Some tics? Is that what you have? Is that why you tics? Like, do you have fleas and ticks? You should put your flea collar on, Betty. I mean, she's so callous in the way she describes him. Like, there was no need to say that. And I don't have any idea whether those things have been said or not. But I mean, sensory issues often go hand in hand with autism, but there's a way that you can say things without sounding like a callous fucking shitbag like you. But see, she doesn't care about this kid. This kid is a means to an end for her. Two means. One mean to two ends. And views. I
He
just
had bugs.
I
he
just
had
did
dirt,
check, but I don't see
you know,
anything
He's got sensory issues.
except
So I don't want to
from
hear this horse
the new
crap.
link.
You know, I'll agree that they may be cooperative. Okay. And what?
Then your fucking wild accusations and assertions, I don't know, they may not hold as much weight as you'd like people to think.
What now? So they're cooperative.
They don't have to, that's with law enforcement. Oh my God. That's with law enforcement, you fucking dumbass. It's not with you. They don't have to be cooperative with you.
Just because they're
You're
cooperative
nobody.
doesn't mean they're being truthful.
Well, you would know about that, wouldn't you?
Because we definitely know they lied about me.
Oh, I haven't read it, so I can't comment on it. But from where I'm sitting, based only on what I've seen with my own eyes and heard with my own ears coming out of your pie hole, I don't know why they'd have to lie. I mean, if we just go with your content, they don't have a reason to need to lie, Betty.
Literally lied under oath saying I was an imminent threat to their bodily injury and
Maybe that is the way you have made them feel based on your behavior. Do you get this? And I'm not saying that that's enough for a judge to stamp it and give them, make that TRO more permanent. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is, from where I'm sitting, they're pretty justified in the way they must be feeling.
harm. Imminent threat. I live in Florida. Thousands.
You have gotten in your car on multiple occasions and driven to where you know they are because you want them to see you. Because you're one of those scuzzy people. Who knows? Well, I'm going to have a problem if I get out of my car and go knock on their door. But I want them to know I'm watching. I'm here. So that's what you do. You go and you drive by and make it very obvious with your fucking camera sticking out the window. And I don't know how you track them down. I guess that'll be, I guess if the judge wants to know, he'll ask.
Of miles away from them. And somehow I'm
That
an
doesn't
imminent
stop you
threat
from
of
driving there.
bodily injury to them.
And are you really, as a fucking grown adult woman, she's really going to sit here and say, I don't know what they're talking about. I have no idea why they think I could be a threat. There's only two choices. You're either full of shit or you really don't know. And if you really don't know, that's even more concerning.
And people are like, well, Betty may have a civil suit, but she'll have to prove damages. No, I do not. You just accused me of criminal activity. That is defamation per se.
You know, it's so ironic. This bitch, to save her very life, we're on attempt number 3, I think, of her attempting to sue Queen Bee for defamation. And for the life of her, she cannot come up with a concise, coherent filing to prove or to even lay out probable cause that defamation has been perpetrated upon her character. She cannot to save her life. If she can, I don't know where she's hiding that legal scholar. But what she's very adept at is defaming other people constantly. So she definitely knows what it is, I would imagine, because she does it all the time. And she is a brilliant legal mind, so she's got to know, oh, that could constitute defamation, what I just said. Kind of like Queen Bee's countersuit. Well, that they showed that there was probable cause to be able to prove down the road the case stood on its merits. It went to the next phase, which I believe is supposed to be discovery. But I do believe I've also heard that she will not cooperate. I wonder why that is.
Say that means the damages is on its face. I don't have to prove a gosh darn thing.
Oh, this is Sister Christian Betty. She doesn't have to prove a gosh darn thing.
Not a thing.
Not a thing.
It is provable on its face, and I have.
Well, there you go. Now maybe you can get a new car.
Have every bit of evidence to substantiate.
Because you're going to win some giant financial award.
So they can't say the same thing. I literally got 3 different clips of Chris threat.
How many clips do you think they have of you demonstrating at the very least? And, I understand this isn't a legal standard, but like I said, Betty, totality of a lot of circumstances, if you've got 2 or 3, they've probably got 200.
Threatening me. But you notice Chris is not on any of these accusations. Kind of funny like that.
I don't know what she's talking about.
Because of his court hearing or his custody battle with Nina. That's what I truly believe. But hey.
Well, you are a visionary. So, yeah, I'm sure that's what it is.
They've already established that their house and and her grandmother's house, the Bowersock's house, is not a safe place for
all right, I'm not gonna listen to any more of this fucking skank. Like, I've had enough of her today. I really have. I can't. She's disgusting. She's foul. She's polluted. Seriously, I think she is polluted. Betty, this is lipstick. This is, if I have any friends from across the pond in here, this came from Boots, I think. Berry M. I absolutely love this lipstick. You can't get this over here. At least when I bought this, you couldn't get it here in the States. I think I paid more for the shipping. It was probably 3 times what the lipstick cost. This is not an expensive lipstick, but this is one of my favorite pinks in the world. It's kind of close to the one I wore before this one. The one I would have called my favorite pink before I found this was NARS. It's either Shipe or Shipe. SCHIAP. And then I saw somebody on YouTube wearing this pink, this Berry K, and I was like, I have to have that. I hunt it down. Hi, Brad Silverdog. How are you? Oh, thank you, Erie. That's very sweet. Hey, Ducking Fox. Oh, beer can. That's interesting. I'm not going to highlight that comment for obvious reasons, but that would be Hey, Ange Carter, how are you? Yeah, I'm sorry. Y'all, I hope I got to the good part. Oh my God, 3 hours and 42 minutes. Are you frigging kidding me? That is Hey, Bright Light, how are you? That is entirely too long for me to be talking. Oh my God. Y'all, I'm so sorry. I've been over in the other window the entire time. Oh God, it's 3:45. See, this is another reason I can't. Hey, Patricia Burns, how are you? You're from the UK? You love Berry K? Okay, well, I might need you to oh, you're in the UK. Okay. I need to look at some of their other colors, but I tell you what, I love this lipstick. Oh, thank you, Ducking Fox. That's very sweet. Oh, well, thank you, Nicole. Listen, I got to keep the instrument sharp. She's a good honing tool as any. But yeah, that's way too long for me to be talking. And as such, I'm going to shut up and I'm going to cease talking. Today's Monday. I don't know. I need a break from her. But I'll be back at some point this week. I don't know when, but I'll see you guys soon. And thank you for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, mods. I appreciate you. And oh yeah, burnt toast tonight. Yes. I'll try and recover from my Betty hangover that I have now. I don't know if I'm going to be able to take it today, but tomorrow, when I put my war paint on tomorrow, I will. If I don't make it to burnt toast tonight, I will listen tomorrow. All right, kids, y'all have a good day.